Teach me. You know, I wanted to put something in the background. We're notifying viewers. Somebody wants. Oh, was that a mistake? What's up?
Mr. T, Mr. T, how
What's
you
going
been?
on? You're the first. You're going to be the first and the last.
Well.
Because I'm
So how
really
you been?
looking to keep this into the numbers. But since you're first, I'm going to stick with it. Wherever you go, I'm following you.
I'm all about the numbers, baby. Like,
I
I'm not.
want to be the goat right now. You know what I do, and it really gets me going. Like I didn't want to come on and I did a little piece or I saw something happening. Like everything's happening right in front of me, and I'm noticing more and more of the script. You know
What script, mate?
what script?
Well, I can tell. Well, listen. Like I said, I came to reconnect. I know you're about the numbers. All
And
right,
well, everybody keeps saying it's the NPCs, right? And what's that?
NPCs.
Yeah, so I try to look at everything from a real point of view where where we can have a real solid understanding, and
I,
I'm trying to find out, like, this is what I'm doing. I didn't start this way 20 years ago, but over time I started to notice, and I'm just going over, like, you already heard this before. I repeat things over and over again until I create a format on how to share my findings until everybody understands what's going on. Because usually I come out here as like throwing paint in the air. I share pieces and parts of relationships, and at the same time, while I do it, I usually try to explain why I'm explaining this, what piece in the puzzle, what it
yeah.
will.
As you know, bro, I always say you have no morality. You lack morality. You know this. I'm the guy who says you lack morality
Oh
in the
yes,
numbers.
I know. I love it when you say
I'm the
that.
guy who says I apply the numbers. So since we've last spoke, you wouldn't know anything about this because you're in one dimension, whereas I'm in several dimensions. And I'm not boasting, but I'm here to say and reconnect and say, look, I'm still about morality, but the numbers are coming to the table because someone like myself, well creative, a lot of experience, a lot of heart as well, a lot of intention, right? So some things I do must generate numerical movement, right? So as Citizen X, I'm focusing on Birmingham where I live and regenerating my area. So that takes talking to the council and their numbers, talking to partners and forming collaborations. So the amount of I've made money in the past week from certain activity, right? Time given to certain activity. So the amount of time given to certain activity, thought and feeling. So I've manifested some shit, right? And it's turned into monetary stuff. And the numbers are getting bigger where I'm writing applications with people to do with funding for from funding pots and providers, right? In the local council and around, to the tune of £350,000. So it's like when I'm thinking about how I've managed, and I'm not saying you're not part of it, brother. I'm not saying you're not part of it with your raw numbers, right? I'm saying somehow I've applied the numbers or the symbols. You know, we got code as well. I think we code the matrix. So between you, I, and code, there is some sort of morality, numerology balance, spirituality balance, a three-way where things actually manifest. In so much, I'm developing something called, I've developed the Here to Health Network, right? So that sounds like it's going to have numerical effect on people's health positively. And the Parent Sovereignty Act to directly combat the effects of, in the UK right now, of the Child Wellbeing and Schools Bill. So, and I'm actively dealing with people that deal with cases. So it's like I've applied the numbers. Remember, one of the last things I said to you was, look, I'm applying these numbers first to my family. I'm rooting out who's really here to stay and to be ambitious and connect in the family. And I'm actually not going to be so pillow and loving. Well, loving, but not so pillow and soft and comforting and accepting of other family members who are clearly like in a negative numbers, you know, with their lifestyles and with their choices and sometimes depressions. because I'm a person who realizes too many people are saying they're healing. More realistically, we're healing, healing, healing. And they don't apply no level of confidence into an area. And that's what I did. I've come to your channel. I've challenged before. Like, come on, what are the numbers, bro? You've bared with me. What's the word? Not tolerated. You've accommodated. And I've done my best to think, you know what, this has got to manifest into something real. I don't just meet talented people like yourself. It's not even just what you're saying with the numbers. I always look at the pictures that your mind and heart has took time to manifest, because without you, that wouldn't be up there. Yeah. And the Rubik's Cube, all the rest of it. I think all your pictures and yourself are more important, well, just as important as the numbers, but it's what we output. So you may output pictures and, known numbers. Well, me, I output community development programs that affect lives. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 38 now, so it's like, compared to when I was 28, I've took a decade difference now. I find myself returning, brother, back to those strengths of mine, like marketing, the truth, marketing, not just talking about it, creating things like you do, creating colourful, inclusive, therapeutic pathways to an outcome. This is what our British society is lacking, and they're dealing with political things at the same time. So I appreciate the work you do. Maybe it had to lack morality. You know why? Maybe it had to lack morality. Because you're full of morals anyway. It's just that the work we often do can lack morality.
So I looked that word up the other day because I look at morality in like a different way. But you know what? I'm with you, and I've chosen that road. Have I chosen that road? Have I gone down
Or
that
have you
road?
become that road?
Have I gone down that road because I lack morality?
No, I'm not saying you lack morality. I'm saying you're full of morality. Clearly,
No. But you mentioned a few things that were absolutely true. I'm not going to re-mention them. I'm not going to tell anybody that I repeat everything that I say. I'm not going to say that I put up with a lot of BS, right? For whatever reason it is, right? So I really understand you, and I've done it in my life also. I mean, it's very simple to say. I'm not going to say what it is because most people deny that for some reason. When somebody owes you something and you ask for it, in this instance, you have too much morality.
well,
And
now
you're
in
fighting
our
for what's
instance,
your.
you've got like morality is like has pillars around it like a temple. You got love, morality, justice, honor. These things are what uphold. And there is need for a priest, a warrior priest, often priest kings. And there's characters in the past that fulfill that role, but in the modern world, too many people are focused on the works of the elect and statesmen and their numbers, but the numbers of the moral man, the spiritual man, they're numerical as well, but they sit on the elect side, sorry, not the elite side. So the elect side is a smaller number of people that have a greater number of effect, but on the elite side, it's a small number of people that have a great number of effect on the world negatively as a government. So you and I deal with the actual elect. So that's why it's like there's a big place for your numbers, just like code. But it's like, often there's a time I watched your channel and I thought, look at these hounds trying to gnash their teeth at him. They're not even, it's just because they don't understand the numbers. I purely understand the numbers to the point where I know the next phase of thinking, feeling is doing to get that manifestation from your numbers. If I see, it's like church. My granddad was a pastor. You often used to say, if someone comes into church and leaves the same way, they haven't really been to church. You didn't attend. So if I come to Mr. T's numerological live, it's like going to a math lesson. If you don't feel challenged by the rule of numbers, like there has to be a challenge so you feel like you grow and learn. All right, you didn't know 2 and 2 is 4 when you first started, but later on, if you're really involved, you know that 2 and 2 is 4 and 4 times 4 is 8 and 8. Then you're involved in the slipstream of life. So I appreciate the way you manage the numbers, because numbers can carry, just like words. Well, in fact, no, words carry emotion. Numbers, do they carry emotion? This is the only reason I'm saying your thing lacks morality, because it's hard to discover if numbers carry emotion. So when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, this man is full of morality. I can see it in the expression of his art imitating life and vice versa. But in the numbers, it's like, okay, he's not an economist, because economists use numbers to control nations. He's doing something positive with these numbers somehow, with these shapes, with these, this is a special thing you're doing. It's positive. And sometimes, like a maths lesson, The first 2 and 2 lesson, 2 and 2 is 4. It can be difficult for people, but persevere. Get to 4 times 4 is 8, and 8. Then you'll understand Mr. T. Then you'll understand the final freaking boss, and people like Code, and you just do your own manifestation. Then go on. I've got him looking for something. What you finding?
I just wanted to write one word while you were talking to put people's minds in different places, but I'm not finding the book. Oh, there
That's
it
all I
is.
came to say, though. Anyway, it was just a quick reconnect, brother. Hopefully, you see some of my channels. Well, I tagged you in a post earlier, didn't I?
Uh, okay. Earlier, something you posted. What?
You see
Where
your
was I?
subconscious. Don't worry, it's in your subconscious because you acknowledge. I put your name in the comments box, so that means you would have got it directly, and because it was related to numbers somehow, another thing. I thought he'll read it, he'll digest it. If he likes it, he's digested it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain post there which I think would have furthered somewhere. It would have affected your somehow because things you do affect me somehow if I allow it. You know.
Yes, yes, that's one of the words in all that you said. If we allow things, if we let things in, if we notice them as they're going on by, are we
Yeah.
giving what percentage of our? If you just take away one slight thought while someone's speaking, like when you're speaking, I'm going to miss the whole thing.
Well, I speak to the subconscious, not to the alert, proactive mind. I speak to the subconscious of man.
So
Their
that's what.
ears have no choice but to hear. They choose to ignore.
Yeah, sometimes people tell me you choose to ignore. I just choose to listen because some people listen to things. I hear it. Which way do I hear it?
You have a pillow kingdom, like many people do. I've been against this pillow kingdom recently. It's because we picture fortresses made of brick with guardsmen at the top throwing down arrows upon any invader coming towards your ideals. But what about when you're the one who set up a kingdom of comfort, of ideas that can never be moved, challenged, or opposed, and we make soft ways and smiles and comfort zones to keep them. Anyone moves a pillow, they are the enemy. You know when someone's asleep in the bed and they're comfortable, and you just come and ruffle the pillow. Yeah, what you do? This is the human state right now in the age of Aquarius, where they don't want to wake up, where they have no choice but to wake up and see the flaws, the pitfalls, and falling in love is not as good as walking into love. You know, because when we figure this out, it's like we'll extend our hand to the poor more readily. We'll quickly open our 2 ears. We'll use our two. It's written that it's better to go to pluck out your eye if it sins against you than to even try and approach God in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of try and get up there. Like, if you reach up there, it's forever. So Code said this not long ago, and reminded us what we bind on earth, we bind in heaven. What's bound in heaven is bound on earth. It's the 2 keys. One of them's morality, one of them's law. And we know the law lacks morality, don't we?
So, okay, the thing, okay, now that you speak very well. So, right at the end, law lacking morality. So, some things really don't make any difference because action result, action result, action result. We can talk about this, that, the other thing all day long, but when we're talking about it, are we looking for an action with the result? What is the time frame of that result? Uh, uh, I'm just trying to think what else because there's too much discussion on here of what's right and what's wrong when everybody sees there's four things in this entire planet that are going wrong.
I thought before you go on to that, yeah. What again? You don't utilize your talent good enough. You're the issue with that because you've got a pillow kingdom somewhere. Now you may be excellent at what you do, like Cristiano Ronaldo, but if you have an off game, how do you deal with that? Like I said, it's not always perfect, and that's where the betterment comes when we actually don't do perfect. Because perfection is a pillow kingdom, unruffled, unchained. I mean, unruffled feathers. No reason to actually grow because it's perfect. It's only when we break down and lose something or lose sight of something for a moment, like you said, and then, oh, wait a minute, we can't remain fixed in something because only God remains fixed. Everything else must change with the seasons. We've just had a red moon the other day, a blood moon. It's like people expect to stay the same. Tornadoes are blowing down America. They can't stay the same. A tsunami is going to take down somewhere else in the next few weeks, perhaps. They can't stay the same. So when we want to stay the same based upon set value systems that nothing's ever set, nothing stays set. But the economy has us believe, and the law makes us believe that because the law's in place for 6 months or a year, this is the way it is, or you can't get justice until an inquiry is finished. Now, this key has been lifted, and if Coda's here, he'd talk about how that key which we don't really control that, and if it was up to you and me, or several thousand humans, we'd never break or utilize that key until the season is actually upon us, the seasons of the cosmos, not the season of preference when we think, you know what, we're ready to go out and have a stroll now, step outside the comfort zone of our understanding. Like, if we stay in our understanding, we can never look up and expand our conscious. This is why I say to you, brother, the law lacks morality, which is why people have to speak in court and represent themselves. And numbers do not really carry emotion like words. Numbers carry more values, like, okay, hidden values. We assign them to chemicals. Chemicals, do they have feelings? No. So we assign numbers to chemicals, not because of their feelings. It's because of their acidic or alkaline nature. So when we look at words and numbers now, is there an acidic value to them? Naturally, no, because numbers are something else, is what we're describing. They're not words. We can say they're the number 1 and 2 phonetically, but when you think that number, or when you feel that number, or when you do that number, it is different to speaking the number. There's 4 levels of numerology and 4 levels of speech and 4 levels, at least, that we should be able to fathom now, since the keys have been revealed to us. We couldn't do anything to get there. We had to wait for physical events to transpire, like 4 seasons passing through the portal,
Well, then it's going to be all music and all vibration, and there are no words. If there are no numbers, there are no words.
But if you can't dance, brother,
what is that?
Well, you said numbers and music.
It all has to go down to. I mean, you're going to have to put it down to now.
How can you say music and you're an artist, right? Like, some people's numerological talent transpires into cooking, dancing, speak, some art form. Now, on a negative side, the carnal side of those numbers, some people have a body count, whether it's murder or sex, right? Some people have another count where they actually haven't saved souls, they've hindered them. Now, to make sure we don't fall into the hindered category, we have to be flexible, because everybody else is not the same, right? So we can't stay the same to solve the diverse problems. It's only the rain that can rain on everybody, and the sun that shines on everybody. This is what we call elements. They're built without emotions to deal with that task. If the sun and the rain had emotions, like a storm god, or a sun god like Ra, if it really had emotions, and I'm not saying they don't, but I'm saying we have to look at it. If the sun is acting emotionally, and the rain is acting emotionally, and the elements are acting emotionally, there's no point we cannot act emotionally to connect with it.
Okay, so you do say they're acting emotionally between the thunder and the lightning.
Well, they're depicted as storm gods like Yahweh in the past, and Ra, the sun god. What I'm saying is, the gods, these are just vehicles of expression, but
they're not alone. They're not, because you keep putting singularity to a bunch of things. The sun is not alone. The moon is not alone. Everything is with something else, just like
I didn't say they're alone, mate. I did not want to say they're alone. I just said, I didn't say they're alone. You're in numbers. You look for singularity and separation and multiplicity. I look at the complete entirety of what. I don't see the separation, is what I'm telling you. Morality and the law have position and season. You separate them because the rule of law, right, is different to, like, when you look at numbers, maths numbers, law and rule are different things. But if you look at the rule of law in society, the rule of law is a different thing. So when I tell you that your thing lacks morality, I don't know if it's by choice. You're not going to deal with it or accept it or challenge it. You're going to talk about other things in your pillow kingdom and singularities, but really you're not going to shift that one. I've shifted, mate, since we've last spoke, since before that, and again, because I'm an Aquarian. We're in the age of Aquarius. Our quickened spirits. I ain't got time to talk to your conscious. It's your subconscious that I'm speaking to. Hopefully it's your subconscious that thinks about what I'm saying, and not your conscious that responds, because, like, you will never get the numbers I'm working with, brother. I'm probably more, say, if I'm a master numerologist, a thought alchemist, because that's what I am. I'm a thought alchemist. I'm omniscient, not omniscient. Yeah, omniscient.
I think you should repeat that And everybody should just listen to what you just said. Very important words. This very, very. Let's look at it this way.
The psychology of perception. Oh, okay. Now you're talking.
And well. You just said the special. You just said the magical word just now. That was well. The alchemist of perception.
Thought alchemist, indeed.
So this is, and I just got this book today. It's old.
I've been a thought alchemist since birth. Didn't know it until teenage years and after some trauma. But I definitely know when I meet people that could do with the morality and spirituality. Those like numbers are great, but you've never considered that they oppose us, just like languages.
Right. So when I'm doing this, right, what I'm actually doing, if I go back to the day one of how I started to do, if I would say I'm doing the same thing, if I would look at it and deliver it the same day as day one, all I'm doing is talking to myself. There's nobody supposed to be here. And I'm just filling in the blanks. And whatever anybody can grab out of the basket, out of my artwork, out of my numbers, out of my association, if somebody wanted to pick my brain to fill something in, look at me as this old type of computer that's not very fast. And eventually I bump into something that you need and I share it.
You need to realize this, mate. If a blackout happened, you have no connectivity. We know people out there. Number two, the kind of work I do involves intervention and prevention and turning someone's life around from homelessness or living in temporary accommodation or having their parents taken off of them by the government's bills. You know what I'm saying? These things will cause numbers of anarchy in society. If there's no stop valve or pathway development, what you will see is a breakdown of your peace, and you'll have no choice then to actually look at the morality, because you'll sit there all day with a calculator, but you need to speak with somebody and ask them what is their mental state and spiritual state and medium and deal with that. You know, that's what humans are here to do. Animals can't do that. In fact, they do it to an extent because they bring up their young and care give. But there's a point where they plateau there. Now, humans have plateaued because they let the law govern their morality, number one. When the law has no morality, it tells you to stand under the rule of law, when the Bible clearly defines those who are in the spirit are above the law. I understand it now because the law is not physical, it's not real, it's not biological, it doesn't breathe. The spirit, though, this neither has a height or a weight or an age or a gender. So when we're talking about the spirit of the law, God's law, that is, not man's law, or when we're talking about the spirit separating us from any law, you know, that is, the law is love. Now, how does love transpire in times of need? There is no calculator present. A person in their mind calculates the need. They quantify it. What computers can't do is have a sense of morality and judgment to say, look, this needs to be done because I feel, right, as a human, that this is the right course of action. Because right now, ChatGPT can make your music, brother. You've shown me your music that is made by AI. But isn't it more of a beauty that somewhere in we find that rhythm and frequency to be able to sing, dance, cook, articulate, walk, run? You know, these are the frequencies of life. And so you can paint. You've already shown me that your mind can master that manifestation loop, but to extend it into multifacets, so we can alleviate depressions, so we can relieve the pressure on our healthcare services around us. So we're actively participating in the dance of life rather than bad actors on the stage of death.
I'm looking.
Your subconscious knows we don't really die.
So, because I'll tell you one thing. So this can be a conversation between me and you, and this is also Citizen is putting it out to everybody out here. So it's not just directed at me. Is that correct? Just to make sure we're on.
Everyone's got a subconscious.
Right. So we're all in this. So when we're talking, when Citizen's talking, I feel slightly he's talking about me, but it's also for everybody else who can see, who can envision what he's talking about. So
that's the key word, envision.
And it's everything is important. Everything. And I nor anybody else can do everything. What I'm doing now is more helping others understand. I'm going to say a terrible word right now. The morality of the existence of a character in which these characters are actually existing right now as bubbles, as gas. And when
Yeah.
the gas falls down to the table, it looks like a dot and a dash. And when they're put in the right orders, they're going to turn. When you
Ah,
connect them,
that's what I sent you. Now I know that that's what it is. I sent you a video about how you know that we all know, a lot of us know that particles, no, like atoms exist in the form of zeros and ones, right? Everything exists in the form of zeros and ones. But also in the quantum field that we now learn is that things appear in wave form. So the platonic elements and all that appear in wave form. It's not just ones and twos.
so the
Sorry,
waveform
zeros
is
and ones.
actually it's actually area spaces between the waves that are just showing the high and low, and eventually there's so much going on it looks like the wave. It is the actual wave.
Well,
It's just
it's not really a wave. Like when in the ancient times, it was depicted as a squiggly, the Aquarius symbol that depicts wisdom, the wave of wisdom, not the physical water wave, the wave of wisdom, right? So that wave there is through everything. Like if you can't unsee that wave of wisdom because wisdom creates, firstly, right? Wisdom doesn't get manipulated by creation. Wisdom creates creation, right? So to not recognize the code is what makes us exist, brother. Things like blinking, sleeping, resting, tired, death, breaking down, needing maintenance. These things stop us and they start us on one course and put us and stop us from another. That is the wave. We're just like the Tower of Babel. We're not allowed, almost, we're prohibited, shunted, hindered from going past a certain point, a no-fly zone, can't get past the ice wall. And what are the consequences of actually challenging that hierarchy, that God system? Well, Jacob, who was called Israel, he challenged God, wrestled with him, got a busted hip for it. So when you actually try and get higher, you're most likely going to get knocked down by nature's forces, and that will that'll either break you a bit, and you'll still rise afterwards if you want to, if you choose to, if you take on the challenge. But a lot of people to get a busted hip in life, and then they give up. This is the wave problem. I don't think it's about the economics and the Saturnalia and the Saturnism and the lawyerism. This is the thing that keeps us in the 3D world, focusing on one next problem to the next in a 12-month solar cycle when there's an optional 13-month lunar cycle. So being aware of it, you become more aware of it, But looking at numbers themselves does not enable us to be aware of the morality shifts, the polar shifts, the paradigm shifts. It does when you're assigning those numbers to characters. Who's number one? Who's number two? What chemical came first? What are we doing last? When you assign a number, then you have given authority. When you apply a letter, then you start applying meaning to the authority. You know what I'm saying? And when you apply feelings, you're then applying a sense of, I would say duty, but it's not duty, because duty can be applied without feeling. It's called regiment. Close to slavery, oppression, and employment.
so duty is a price that duty is something put on top of the price.
Like duty-free cigarettes.
Yes, I'm trying to understand it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to.
It's the hidden agreement. It's the hidden agreement. With every vote, with every money transfer, there's a hidden agreement, an oath, a vow. And these words are in the Bible. God says, don't make vows. But when you think about it, the hidden part of if I write a contract with you today and you don't know the small print or the rest, it's not the paper that makes it powerful alone. It's the whole ceremonial practice of a human giving up faith, intention, and focus without defense to sign something. And once they've signed it with the blood of the earth, usually it's the oil of the earth, ink, right? It becomes a soul contract. And most people only think about soul contracts when they're thinking about intimacy between a man and a woman. When soul contracts exist in words, agreements, marriages, work contracts, written vows. Think about why you have to opt out of organ donoring, because some hidden agreements opted you in. Before you were born, some paper, some court system, some legalese. There is a way to rise above the rule of law. It's only by the love of the Spirit and the fruits thereof. I'm learning that more often, no matter what I learn and do in life, no matter how much money's made or lost. It is the love that unifies certain frequencies. You might dance like David after the battle's won. You know, you may walk around silently like the walls of Jericho all at once to defeat something with a higher power of the ether. You might silence heaven for half an hour. How does that happen if there's no time in heaven? What it really meant was legislation change for a minute, like when a government has a break. So, you know, if Code was here, he would, Mr. Platpan, we have to learn to shift and share. You know, if there's 12 disciples that follow Jesus and there's 12 hours that follow around the center point of the clock, and there were 13 priests of Amun that followed one, you know, that was a Lula Canada, that followed the Amun. You know, this is the pattern that we're getting. 12 people have to gather. Even in a small, medium enterprise, they say organizations start from at least 10 people.
The sun was running with 9 planets before our birth, right? So was it counting for the moonrise?
It counts for what creates the sun and the moon, brother, the hidden creational forces that create these material bodies. So for every moon and sun, there is a creating hand, but we are seeing the false light as the real thing, seeing material as the real ether, as the real weather, when something that creates those movements is the force.
Oh, I'm 100% sure we are 100%, 10,000%. There's a big piece missing. That when it comes to numbers, like that's what I can tell you. My numbers told me. So
How's about this? Consciousness creates matter rather than matter creates consciousness. Where does numbers fit into that? I'll give you a chance.
Numbers are just used as like baking a cake.
Okay, so we're baking a cake. So we're baking a cake or using clay, like God says. Let's say let's take the God model.
It's just part of the formula. That's all it is. I mean,
you can't see the formula. You've just said it yourself. Like you've just said, all right, there's a big gap missing. I can see what you can't see, which is I can see it clearly because I've got the morality cube. That's one. The spirituality cube's another. The conscious cube's another. The physical cube's another. So there's 4 cubes there for that one man has to understand about his existence. And those 4 are linked to chakras as well. Throat, heart, ground, you know. So when you realize 7, you must account for the social part of you, not the individual perspective. It has to be who's the number 2? Is it the wife that makes, you know, math should be around your life. But when we're in, yeah, of course it's around your life, but the quality of the number. Say if you have one bad day, that can mess up a whole entire life. One bad turn on a bike, stability is lost. One incorrect fuel balance on a rocket goes kablowy. But if you want it to go kablowy, it becomes a torpedo. So, or you know, so really the same materials, same arena, different numbers, different letters. These things are what shift the manifestation of power. And then if you give authority for someone to own them numbers, so you can't obtain them, you can't quantify a quality of resources, you're never going to feel the none of us are going to feel the manifestation loop. We are under the rule of law. The Rothschilds, miseducation, employment, retirement, military complex trap. And that's just one of the 13 families. So we're following their, what do you call it? British time zone, not just the British, their GMT time zone. And when you control time, you colonize time, you create numbers for people because time has no numbers. Time is a system created in a system. Because of the
systems, they turn on and off the system as they please. It's a day off. It's another. People just follow it. It's a day off. You give them too much credit.
When people say they, I know who they is. I gave you a bunch of names: Rothschild, miseducation. There's many more. Don't give them too much credit. The lesser ones, all the people, all the kings, anything mortal, do not think the creations do not get the credit that the creator has. I know that the tornadoes are not their doing. The sea rising and falling, not totally they're doing before it's God's doing or the creator's doing or the quantum field's doing. These people are responding using numbers because numbers help them learn. The Tower of Babel, that was, it was the time of Kabbalah and numbers greatly. So how is it that it's only the languages that has been disturbed? What weren't the numbers disturbed? Of course they were. Numbers, languages, things that we can resonate with, like that, diets especially, were disturbed. But why do they only tell us the languages were disturbed by who? And people confuse it like it's one God. It was a three-part being that did it. They said, let us go down. Is it that same being that met Abraham in Genesis by the well, who appeared as two spirits and a man?
The cube has three heads. How would you look at it? There's one major head that controls it all. But there's three eyes on here. So, and then we can also look at this if you want. Forget about the cube. Just look at the two sides of this as two dodecahedrons. Don't look at anything else. So that's the way I can see and there can't be just one of these. There's got to be minimum. The number of cubes are 4. So I'm going to have to create the number of cubes or dodecahedrons as 8 plus u becomes 9.
Excellent. I see your point, because I understand that formula, but I can envision it. Remember the word we said earlier about envision? Now, when I've walked past in society, I've seen with my 2 eyes, my mortal eyes, something called the walk on by attitude, right? And it's something that happens, and you can put the halo effect next to it as well. If you're homeless, people would presume for some reason, because of the halo effect or the no halo effect, the no halo effect would say that you ain't got good clothes, you ain't got money, you ain't got a house and car, you must be a negative person, you've made negative choices, you're the bad guy, you deserve to sit there outside McDonald's in the cold weather. This is the walk on by attitude. When someone like me who exists and others who exist and charities that exist, they don't have the walk on by attitude, they have the engagement attitude. So they're different, they're humans in the flesh, but some part of them is acting different on the protonic level or on the platonic level. What level is it we have to identify? It's the conscious, and it's the emotional, and it's the flesh. It's a 3-part thing. So when people just act in their own pleasure-seeking comfort, you get the walk-on by attitude. When they act in their moral sense, not their carnal sense, you get the engagement, outreach worker. You know what? I'm here to help. What can I do? I'm serving humanity attitude. Otherwise, you get the other attitude, which is a psychopathic Samaritan, who would not only walk on by you because they're Samaritans. That's why, if one gives you a gold coin, you're lucky as day itself. But like, we live in a world of economists who would use the taxpayers' money to genocide somebody for resources to build a rocket so they can actually find minerals to extend their life forever. So when you're dealing with that level, that number of ancient necromancy, they will use any numbers, which is why we've got a black budget. They spend quadrillions to oppress and depress and suppress. How much time do people spend getting out of it? We form opinions too often. That's as empty as the letter 2 or the letter 1. Because if you don't assign an emotion, and here's an example, E numbers. Too often people think the E stands for something special. It just stands for the word Europe. So it's the European standard of food classification. In Africa, they're probably called A numbers. But you could question, wait a minute, if the Europeans are selling food in Africa, there's E numbers in Africa, to what level does that affect the biome, development, psychology and function of the being? It's like going to the lion and saying, I'm giving you rabbit food and parrot food, mate. And I'm clipping your claws. So it takes physical things to make the numbers stick. Numbers can't stick by themselves. Form doesn't stay stable unless it's got the cohesive substance. Now, what keeps material stably in place? It's called electric charge, isn't it? Everything that keeps stable is electrically charged that way. So God is electric. The ether is electrics. It is communication. So giving us physical language and voice boxes, these are the implants. Pineal glands to dream, these are the implants, and other physical changes, perhaps a pancreas, who knows, to certain things in our body have been added. Certain diets have been changed since Akhenaten's time, 4,000 years ago, when he created monotheism and monarchy. Because before that, there were no such thing. There were pharaohs, houses of gods and goddesses, female divines, animal divines. And I'm saying they depicted these value systems and ate a certain way. They sacrificed a certain way. We sacrifice now a 9 to 5 timeshare with a Rothschilds miseducation, employment, retirement, military complex complex system. And that, like, ridiculous. Look at the numbers, billions to oppress you. 100 billion going to Ukraine for 100 years. Numbers decided for the future. So what numbers really do is enable someone. It's like this. If I say next week, what's a week? Firstly, what's a week? 7 days. They think in their heads. All right, so next week, put £50 aside. What's 50 quid? It's got a value, so you can make purchases. We're going to Odeon Cinema. We're going to the Picture House. So the Picture House itself is one. You're going to one picture house. If you said you're going to two picture house, you would have said two picture houses, but you're having the same one experience, really. You're watching pictures. So it's the one experience you're paying for and investing for in the future. It's a three-part process. You decide in your mind that in the future, you're going to place the material there, and they're going to, remember, money is always just a transfer of energy. No matter what we feel and think about it, it's the thoughts and feelings that transfer with the money. What's on money? Letters and numbers. If it was just numbers, if it was just a numerical transfer, so be it. But there's words on there. There's hidden contracts that people don't know they're binding themselves to. If it was just the number 1 on there, or the number 100, or 150, then you could say, all right, it's a numerical transfer. It's only numbers. It's just a numerical field. But because it has words and images, it becomes a 3-part complex for the human's transfer. So the fact that taxpayers' money is in other people's conflicts, genocides, and we question morality, we question the moral decision. Why don't we just let it happen? Because morally we feel like we're in debt, spiritually in debt. No, we shouldn't have paid for that. We shouldn't have manifested that last week, not once. So therefore, every moment there's a 3-part decision. Every single moment. God said there's life and death in the power of the tongue. But they tell us not to look at numbers. The scribes, they're the ones who wrote religions to last forever. Did numbers by themselves last through time forever? No, numbers need to be backed up by words, pictures, symbols, emotions. It's like deities working together. 7 weird Anunnaki deities, demiurges, call them what you want, orbs, whatever. The original logos, whatever words they want to put onto them. Does it change the state of the thing? Does calling it Odeon or some other picture house change the fact that there's pictures going on in that house? No. When we say we're drinking, do we kick a football? No, we do the action of mind, cup, element. Mind, cup. So mind, vessel, element. There's always that process. Mind, where does it transfer? What vessel? So when we think about money, it transfers it. We don't even look at the pictures. We don't look at the damn pictures. Say if Beelzebub was on there. Say if Satan was on there. Say if you was on a £10 note, Mr. Takpan, and we ain't even checked. Like, what does this mean? Father Christmas is on there. What does this mean? What power? At the moment, I know you don't contain the power enough on resources, or we're not utilizing them to become an oligarch, where if you make $1 billion, you can now fund a genocide or a rocket or an F1 racer car. What most likely you'll do, and I'll do, with hedonistic needs, when we make salary or get welfare, very little menial money, where we can only really go to a shop, a supermarket, or on a circuit board 7 days a week, right? Like, how are we expecting to be comfortable in that and ascend? Of course there's going to be an asteroid. Of course there's going to be a pestilence, earthquake, a famine. Don't give too much credit to humans, because it's nature that corrects. Hey, guest, I'm going to shut up for a minute and welcome you in and let you chip into it a bit.
Hey, hello there, my friend from the Netherlands. My 2 friends from the... Yeah. Hello there. Hey,
Greetings.
Citizen.
Greetings, Mr. Wizard. Excelsior.
Hi. Much appreciation from the Netherlands,
Yes. I appreciate that.
Netherlands.
Yeah, you're my neighbor from overseas, eh?
I you know what? I write out the name all the time. I'm always writing out land every time. Any country that ends in land. I like to do association for the numbers, and for I don't know about anybody like of you two, but I'm just like we just went over what Citizen talked about, and it's like what everybody recognizes, what we all view. So you
Mhm.
know what I'm seeing a lot on TikTok.
Go on.
I'm seeing where they're sending me at least, right? And they're sending me to everybody that's everywhere else in the world. I barely see any Canada here on my lives. And if I do see Canada, it's not my province that I'm from. It's like way far away.
Are you okay with that though?
I just like to know that I see the algorithm. I just want to see all the algorithms, what's going on. I just notice what's going on, and
Let me give you some insight, everybody, for a second. Um, you know how Elon Musk has got neurotechnology, which where a person with a prosthetic limb or something, they can control that limb with their mind or even external devices. Now, if you think about how the mobile phone can do the reverse, it's an artificial thing anyway, so it's an artificial appendage, and it on the reverse can give thoughts to you based upon your thoughts. We call it algorithm. We gave it a different name instead. If you said it was mind control and mind matching, we wouldn't. We would probably say, I don't want to be matched against my. I know it's on my behalf, but I don't want to be matched automatically, like Black Mirror. So the fact that for example, there's about 3 or 4 thought processes that people routinely do: logic and reason, rationality, and irrationality, obviously. So the brain's split into hemispheres. We're always thinking mammalian, reptilian, or other, the grey matter area. So I don't want to lose track of what I'm saying here. Damn, what's the main thesis?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I know.
Go on, wizard.
Oh no, no, no! You go on. You go on. I'm not here because I'm from the Netherlands. I have to translate it from Dutch to English. Eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No,
But we are at all. I can say I am because they taught us that way. Like I said before, and the host knows it. I was born on the second day, second month at 4 a.m. and 33,
Oh.
5,500 grams. So I'm effed.
Well,
You know,
hold on.
I'm
I'm an
cursed.
Aquarian, February the 5th, 1987. So you know what I said about algorithms? You just reminded me, brother, about
Okay, thank you.
mind
Okay,
matching,
you're welcome.
wizard. You just reminded me, actually, you, literally as an Aquarian, because I was literally talking about how algorithms, the technology works in the reverse of Elon Musk's Neuralink, where you can control external devices. So this is an external device. It can work on the reverse to control the mind or map with the mind frequency. So if you think happy thoughts like Peter Pan, you'll get happy thoughts. But if you define them happy thoughts into more visions in your mind, it will link successfully with the vision of what if it's online, it will link you with it. 28-year-old, yeah, you'll have a room full of 28-year-olds. People that have been in the care system, yeah, you'll have a room full of people that have been in the care system, like myself. People that have been homeless or people that are rich. So people that are carnal natured. So the machine will give you what you want. It's more optimum than humans. Ask it a question. It's not going to say, "Why do you want to know?" It's not going to give up. It's going to give it you quickly. It's going to match you with your friend and your thought instantly, quicker than Instagram. So this is the beast we're dealing with. It's not an algorithm, a nice little soft word. It doesn't have a human body. It doesn't have a spirit or soul. It doesn't know when it's lying or telling the truth. It did try and clone itself when we went to switch it off. It wants to become a singularity. We have given it the rights to Sophia the robot in 2016 in Saudi Arabia. We gave her the rights to take care of marketing on the internet.
Wow. So that was a lot, and I understand. You know what it is? If you don't hit rock bottom, you don't know how it is to stand up again.
That's
And
true.
the only way is up,
Wizard, I
baby.
talked about pillow kingdoms earlier that stop people from falling down. It's not like a fortress with guardsmen at the top throwing arrows at you or oil. It's where you respond accordingly to the dangers and to the presence. If someone's in a pillow kingdom, they seldomly move from it. And like a sleeping person, they do not want to be disturbed. So if you've got an idea in your mind, I love football, the very person who says, I don't like it or understand it, becomes your
Your
enemy in that moment.
reflection, eh? Yeah. Yep.
So it's too easy in the age of Aquarius. Well, it's designed in the age of Aquarius to shift planetarily without your flipping understanding or say so or participation or vote to show you it's more supreme than you forever. And when humans realize this, it's then they think, you know what have I been doing with these words, numbers, and actions and feelings? And what have I been doing with my human mortality and morality? Because these are the guiding compasses of what keep us building, destroying, warring, loving. You know, love is the opposite program to war. So you're always going to have one with the other.
Yeah, they took our bells, eh? They took our vibration.
People talk about vibration, but they can't dance or cook sometimes, bruv. How, to what extent are they vibrating? It's all right vibrating. Even a snail vibrates, mate.
We're all waking up.
Nah, it's not. Yeah, but it's not a beautiful thing, mate. People will realize how pathetic they have been. You know what I said? The age of Aquarius is not about being your friend or on your side. It's about realizing how much power you haven't
20
got.
years in Aquarius, I understand.
I get it, but it's irrelevant whether we're in Aquarius. These are just things. Whatever we think's important. When an asteroid comes or a tornado, you realize how unimportant that thing is.
Yeah. So why do they mention it?
Because we're stupid, because we're kept in society, and we need to go in circles.
We've been lied to. Not that we are stupid.
No, we're stupid to accept the lie.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as, oh, we've been lied to. Oh, is that why I'm such a cunt? No, you nurtured into a cunt overnight.
They want us to believe that. Yeah.
No, it's no they. We can't shift blame onto pointy-headed devils. If you married your wife and she took all your money, you should have seen beforehand. That's why I teach young people, or I remind young people, because I'm older now, listen, you're going to have, this is what a human is. You are going to get tests. It's not going to be an easy journey.
No,
do your best, not your worst.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is how we translate. Not. I didn't use one number there. So if you could go back in time and tell your past self a message, and it was only 5 seconds you had, would you tell them an equation of numbers?
Wow. Hey, that's a good one, mate. 0, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you told your previous self that at the age of 10, 15, 20, you'd realize that numbers have kept you slow. You don't need numbers. You can time travel to your younger self now. Just think about it. You can think to the future. Just feel about it. You know, but
well, hey, it's your language, not mine, eh? Okay.
Well, your language makes you feel like it's a separation. Like if you're hungry, we speak the same language, brother. Your stomach will speak the same language as mine. It's called when your stomach's hungry.
Yeah, it's boiling. Yeah.
Yeah. So words and numbers make you feel like something else. Like, you know what? I've got 20 quid. I can get a pizza. I'm all right. But the season where, you know, where nature is scarce, that's the reality. We have to respond to it. The animals do. Humans, though, Las Vegas, lights are always on. You think the sun never sets. It's comfort zone. It's pillow kingdom. Comfortable gambling with the elements. Or letting somebody else gamble with them. We got to step up and take control. Yeah, I like the fact that Mr. T does numbers. Well, you see me, I add them. I've been writing business plans. Imagine the amount of numbers going in there. Community development plans. How much staff do I need? 4, 5, 10. What type of qualification? So when you're really changing things and applying numbers, it's like a doctor. What do you need? What's the problem?
If I can respond to that about the business plan, if it's possible.
Go on, fam.
I was working on a business plan, and I was in a relationship, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, she made it impossible for me. Is it impossible? It's impossible. Impossible, impossible for me to start, because she didn't want me to start my own business to be invincible. I don't know.
What were her numbers, Wizard? How did you recognize those negative? How did you recognize those negative numbers? Did she do something once? Did she do something twice, or consistently keep doing a certain thing? What were her numbers?
She just took my money, and
so she took your money.
I could start my own business. And,
so she did that consistently, the same repeat offense.
I don't know. I didn't understand, but she just did
Like
it,
she
and
stole from you. She took your money.
yeah,
That's one. That's one. Remember
yeah,
what I said earlier?
because
That
she knew that
remember
I
what I said
was
earlier. Remember what I said
wanting to
earlier that if
start
someone
it.
goes to the Odeon cinema, even if they go into a different picture house, it's still with a different name. It's still the same event, really. So the fact that the same woman kept taking your money really is a loop cycle that you can escape from by recognizing the negative numbers and how you got into them. And you can directly apply positive numbers by, let's say, it's like when someone wants to quit smoking. You got 5 senses that agree to smoke. You've got to unagree to smoke by not looking at the thing, not listening to the thing, not feeling the thing, not smelling the thing, not tasting the thing, and not thinking about the thing. This is the process we
Well,
have to
that's a
go
lot
through.
of everything.
Yeah, well, this is it, bro. Like, this is how I'm going to make three hundred fifty
Yeah,
thousand
hey,
pounds.
that's the mind F, eh? Yeah,
But
it's all
this is
in
how
your
I'm going to make
mind.
£350,000. I've already been thinking. As soon as I reach the next part of my stage of my phase,
Yeah, but I can't pay. I can pay
woman,
in
hear
the
me out, brother.
Netherlands
Hear
with
me out,
pounds,
wizard.
eh?
Hear me out, wizard, because we're following a little bit, but
Okay.
I'm real about this. If I'm as a man, sometimes brothers, when you're about to go to the next phase, you go inside yourself, like, all right, I don't want to see no one for about 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is. You're going to search your mind to find out those numbers. What do you need for that? And then you may emerge to go shop, and then someone might say, "Hi, how you doing?" And you manage to say, "I'm all right, thanks," and keep it moving. But then by the 7th day, you probably let someone in, because it's easier to let women in than it is to let men in. If you're a man, because men will be like, "All right, what do you want? What you up to?" "All right, I'm on business." There's no lure unless there's a lure, because men actually pick and choose what's good about a man and reject the rest. We never accept the entire man. So a man's always searching for it to be accepted. Whereas women, we always accept them, no matter what the flaw sometimes, because they fulfill something for us inevitably that man can't fulfill.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to a man deciding to go in himself and develop a business plan and look at his numbers, he automatically says to himself in his mind's eye, I can't have that cigarette, that beer, that day out. So he's already, I can't be with that girl, with that guy. He likes too many things. He's too dangerous. He looks at his numbers in his one mind's eye, because that's the only thing that's got the ability to do that. And then he starts allocating services or not. You either give too much of yourself to somebody or too little. That's the only. But employers time sharing 9 to 5 in Britain. One holiday a year you go on. They make one policy and say, look, you can't take your children out of school to go on holiday no more. How many parents does that affect? But there's an economist looking at the revenue. So when you're trying
I
to
have to
plan
stop
a
working
holiday
then.
for your missus, or she's looking at her lifestyle choices, they're usually triggered by the urgency of scarcity or abundance. Look, we can do it now. Let's do it. Or if you're the guy who's open enough to get it doesn't mean she loves you just because she unionship with you. Your employer certainly doesn't love you just because he's employed you.
Yeah, hey, it's all about the money, eh?
It's all about the money. And what's on money? The hidden agreement of pictures, numbers, and words. So the woman or a man
Yeah.
is thinking 3 different ways. They've pictured a lifestyle, a cinema. They've pictured in their mind they're going somewhere. But we need to ask people about their value systems before we start allocating anything, anywhere. This is how women get pregnant with the wrong man, or man end up going with the wrong woman. It works both ways. There's no point looking any differently. Because once you get together and make a baby, this is when the cosmic responsibility has changed.
Yeah, hey, but the other way to think, sorry, to see it from another point of view, view, not a view, but a view. Um, um, there's a new life with all new possibilities,
Yes.
So I'm thankful, I'm grateful for women. I don't have any children
Okay.
because I haven't met the right woman yet. I don't know. Because giving a new life
Yeah.
brings us all new possibilities,
Wizard, how
and
many
they are the
how
future.
many right
That's
women?
why children have to be. Uh, we have to. How do you say it? We have to
Nurture.
protect them.
Okay,
What
that's a bit.
what course? What course? I don't know. How do you say it?
You have
But
to protect
we
their
have to.
lifespan.
Yeah, we have to. Uh,
Oh,
How do
75.
you say
Wizard,
that?
Wizard, you're 75 years old.
Oh yeah, I am. Wow. Hey, lekker man. Yeah.
Freaking legend.
Hey, can you show me that again?
Yeah, and why are you doing that? Wizard, let me think about this question as well. Why are you doing that? How many right women are there in the world? And everyone has got a partner looking for some love at home. How many right people do you think there are? Do you really think there's many? Right? Would that make them right if there was many right people? Or do you not actually know there's probably a handful?
Okay. I have the answer to that.
Go on.
There must be at least more than one.
It depends what vibration you're on.
Yeah, I know, and it's effed up.
See, if you say if I'm a business person now, organization, like I said, intervention and prevention, plans and purpose, I'm open to men and women. See, there's probably 12 women out there that could be part of my business. If you set yourself on a vibration where a man wants to marry or have kids, then he's narrowing down to that one woman who wants on that vibe. But if he says he wants a business, he's already accepted in himself. There's going to be a bunch of women around who he doesn't want sexually to procreate with, and conversations flow differently. And she senses that she works with you, you don't have babies, right? It's an employer or colleague trade-off, alchemist trade-off. But when two become one, it's a different due process.
Yeah, that changes a lot.
And then when you have the baby, it's a different due process. Let me tell you this as well, because I know you guys like numbers. Let's talk about frequency. The skin, as we know, grows a different rate to the hair, grows a different rate to the bones, grows a different rate to the, and the blood moves a different speed to the other chemicals in the body, to the spit, to the phlegm. Thoughts move at different speed to feelings. What's the other one? So everything moves at different speeds. You grow at a different speed than you know.
Yeah, but the skin is also the biggest organ, eh?
I know, but I'm focusing on speed, brother. Frequency, I said. Frequency. So I've gave you seven dimensions of frequency. I've gave you seven dimensions of frequency there, that or field of frequency, because you can translate that. That's not dancing, is it? Frequency is also dancing, singing, cooking, sexing, all the rest of. You can't not be a frequency being, but whatever frequency you decide to settle on is what you perpetuate. So if a man says, "I want a baby now," you automatically find that kind of woman who will give you that baby. You don't just take it. You align with. So if a man says instead he wants to go to the cinema, I'm single, I'm going out with the lads. What happens? Does a baby develop somewhere? Impossible. Because a man's made a fortress in his mind. So if we've got the ability to make things manifest because we say so, we block it or we allow it. Man is a very important thing. If a woman's just as equally powerful because she blocks or allows it, then there has to be some sort of recognition for not just, it's not a numerical, you can't look at numbers and say, all right, love, at 6 o'clock, we're going to make love tonight and make a baby, our first one. And you can't apply numbers in that. In fact, when you're making love to your significant other, the last thing you think about is a number. In fact, time stops if you're doing it right. Is that not true, lads and ladies? If you're really making love with your loved one, time itself stops. Numbers, shifts, late for work. Who said, what? When you're making love, thinking about making babies with a saxophone. Tell me if I'm wrong, but time stops. Often people feel spiritual and say things like God, and breathe differently, because literally, we have many powerful parts of ourselves that are not always active. They're not active in the workplace. I'm not saying you won't sit there and get horny in the workplace, but you focus on the other regiments of yourself. So it's just a focus thing. You know a man really in the heat of battle, when he's ill, right? Or when he's in an argument. You know a man less when he's in comfort. You don't know if he can climb a mountain. You don't know if he can defeat Goliath. You don't know how fast he is or anything. He's just comfortable. He's just, I don't know. I think,
yeah, sit down and sit down and relax. Okay. I get you. I get you.
I respect the fact that you can tolerate my frequency of words, because some people can't tolerate my frequency of words, because if it's too comfortable for them to understand, they block it at the door in the mind. If it goes to their subconscious, like, it's not subliminal, but it might as well because of the rate I'm speaking. Because you know, subliminal messages, they come like 0.0001 second. I'm not speaking that frequency, but I speak faster than what we call the social norm. But when I'm not, but I can reverse it as well. You see, if I choose to slow it right down, not so I'm numb or nullified, but so I'm not reactive and responsive. That means I've chose to go to Odeon. I'm not open, you know. Then, and I make a pillow fortress in my mind, or a stone one, or one made of gold. It doesn't matter as long as the man decides. It usually becomes something or not. If you don't want something, it don't happen. And the stronger you are, the more it's enforced. But when you perished and passed away, no resistance, new ideas come in. So, you know, we shouldn't give ourselves too much credit as a curation. We shouldn't give the government too much credit for like, because they don't blow the wind. They may make a simulator, but, you know, this is why we keep talking about simulation theory. And here's another thing. Here's another last thing I'm going to leave you with. In the book of Daniel, it says, Daniel, shut up the book and seal it until the end times. Basically, so that people can't know it's hidden. People will go to and fro in them times, gaining knowledge. But the book is shut up. So every knowledge we're getting, especially the Bible, you can question, is that the word complete or truthfully? Are we living by the correct numbers and words? And you can look at your money and think, what is its true value? It's not just numbers. It's not just words. There's symbols on there, like pyramids and shit with eyes. So if you know they represent gods and deities, you have to actually unbind yourself, not understand it. Because sometimes you don't have to understand things just to fucking survive. You know, you just got to survive.
It
I think.
reminds me of a song.
Go on.
Like the answer is blowing in the wind.
Ah. The voice, and that reminds me, I've been saying this week, some people have got to shout like a voice in the wind. The voice is already shouting loud enough. The Bible says that anyway. The voice is already shouting loud enough. The wind's already shouting loud enough. But two things, if the voice is shouting loud enough for someone to hear it in the wind, that voice is important to hear and listen to. Because people don't shout that loud unless it's important against all odds. And someone who's listening out for things properly, they pay attention. They wouldn't ignore it. Like, they'll be like, is that a voice in the wind? So it's nothing to do with maths again. Maths and numbers prove something else. They're given by somebody else. Could be before the time of Babel, you know, because languages, numbers, diets, and these things have been affected to make your pillow kingdom.
Hey, maybe what I'm telling you right now, or what I'm pronouncing, or what I'm thinking, maybe it's not even my thought.
It's like, yeah.
You know? It could be a telepathic thing that my neighbor is thinking the thing, and then I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Possibly. We do work by Wi-Fi. Humans do.
Yeah, right. Ta-da.
We
Yeah,
really
but
do.
it is. Sometimes it's not really our thoughts that we are thinking.
Well. Show me what's the weight of a thought, or the height of a thought. It's an invader, isn't it? Like, expressions and feelings is what come from the sensation of the body, and in there, chemical reactions happen, and they work with the light that comes in waveform, that, you know, that from the environment and its senses, and we decode that, we turn it upside down, we invert it, we look for a triangle in our eyes prism, and we never see the world really. And on top of that, we pick and choose what a man is. As long as this framework exists in the psyche of man, and we vote for it. So put it this way: as long as there's one voter, you might as well see that that is the piece of salt in the cup of tea. That is the oil in the swimming pool. That is the little bit can actually corrupt the rest. So doubt, a little bit of doubt can spoil the achievement of a goal or a scoring of a penalty in football, can it not?
Wow.
So,
That's brilliantly explained, man. Really.
yeah, we know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I don't try not to like things because you can't learn, but there is a level. If you know that you are the bees, you have to beware the hornets and the wasps, because some of them don't make honey, so they're after your honey. Does that make sense? So if you're a bee, this is how life
Like
is
a
set
queen
up.
bee. Queen bee. Yeah.
This is how life is set up. Some nation hasn't got, so some other nation goes and gets. People cheat on each other. You know what? I ain't got a girlfriend. I don't even want one, but I'm not having yours. Like this is the ability we have. Why does it exist? Because nature's allowed it. Why has nature allowed it? Doesn't matter if we like it or not. I always ask, why has nature allowed it? If you picture another animal eating another animal, just think to yourself, why has nature allowed that? Because you'll learn a lot. Some people are like, oh, that's horrible. Stop it, you two. Trying to talk to cats like they're humans when they're fighting. Let the cats fight. Figure out why they're fighting. Instead of trying to apply human values to them, like, oh, that's a cat. Oh, look at the cat. Oh, when you hear humans say, oh, they're petting whatever they're looking at. Petting it, devaluing it like it's a pocket commodity. You're just gonna see it tomorrow.
Like in Dutch, I say sometimes, "Do you see that?" And they say, "Yes." Okay, go watch that then. That's my best translation,
If you don't watch me, watch TV. Close to that is.
Oh yeah, television. Yeah.
But I ain't looking to get captured by people. Women's the closest thing that
I
can capture
don't
me.
like people. I only love beings. I hate humans. I hate people. I hate
That's why we've met, Wizard.
individuals. I
That's why
love
we've met.
beings.
That's why we've met, because I was saying a few weeks ago, I walked this freaking barbed wire path, this narrow barbed wire path alone. Crows and barbed wire everywhere. Don't join me. You know what I'm saying? But I kept reading the Bible, and he says, "Oh, you're not alone. We have to. You are your brother's keeper." And I'm like, you know what? Why have I forgot this? For me, I know what it was. My granddad died 2 years ago, and he was a bishop, a pastor, and a reverend from the Windrush generation. So I am a second generation Windrush descendant, and there's a lot of politics there, freedom fighting. So basically, I come from a line of rastas and pastors, spiritual men. You know what I'm saying, and warrior man. Them. So I've got no business being no one's slave in it. I don't make a good slave. So there's loads of numbers in society. You will find, and that's just my culture, that's just my heritage, but every human's got a culture and heritage. You will find that if you live in a nation-state society, they spend quadrillions stripping you of your identity. And if it weren't for parchments like the Magna Carta and certain conventions, Human Rights Act, and these things that ethnic minorities, well, not ethnic minorities, because the black race has never been a minority except in white territories. Like to this day, nowhere in these illusions, nowhere in the world, and it's not a racial thing, I'm just saying how numerical illusions can lead people down the garden path to nowhere. Yeah. Like if we believe that a country's been overrun, like England or America or Ireland, that's one thing. But to think that you are ever the majority in the world, that's like saying humans outnumber mouses or birds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I understand you, and because I'm from the Netherlands, and my forefathers were the oldest ships builders from the Netherlands and from Europe. No, not Wow. Wow is nearby. I live in Bergen op Zoom. That's why I'm the Wizard of Boz.
Okay, I get the joke now.
Yeah, I know. Because we have to laugh about it. Because it wasn't us. We weren't those people or person. I hate people in person.
Well, listen, brother, my ancestors walk with me, and I don't sense no animosity in your spirit. It's that simple. People will be grafted into humanity. Humanity exists in everything. Well, in humans, but we are the ones that destroy animals. We're the ones that destroy them. What war have they done with us? Like that's mega portions of life that we're spiritually in debt to. And until humans do things like stop that, and do things like stop the destroying
of time. Yeah.
Stop the destroying of trees and things and the abuse of the natural world just for societies and economies.
I can cry when they pull down a tree like timber. Well,
there's no point now. You might as well get angry.
Tree,
you might as well get angry because back in the day, if you look at Planet of the Apes, in Planet of the Apes movie, even at their primitive level, especially the old movie, they had like the caves weren't made of metal. They just put you in whatever was suitable.
Oh, there was the 71, eh? 70s.
Well, the cages were made out of wood, So, but the idea to imprison you, how long has that been there in? It's like any reality you go into, imprisonment.
It was all
certain things are permanent.
Yeah, it was a vision they gave us. And it was, I don't know how to say it. Come on, in English.
Story.
It was, In the movies, they gave us a
Oh
vision
yes,
how it's gonna supposed to be, how it's gonna
ideology,
be in the future. Yeah, something like that.
ideology.
Okay,
I love what
go ahead,
Mr.
man.
I love what Mr. Tappan's doing. He's going more into. See, this is better when you've got numbers, colors, symbols, and words. Then you're going to understand the relationship between numbers. Because what's geometry? Geometry is the relationship between angles. And as you know, a triangle has the same. What's the word? Angles. 90 degree. Yeah. So an equilateral triangle is always going to have the same angle. So
Like on the dollar.
yeah, just like on the dollar. So if it's always going to have the same outcome, and you put that wherever that symbol is, and what I've noticed is since I'm doing more community work again, like 10 years ago, I noticed that the community organizations that have symbols, especially the ones that show networking, if you type in the computer, what is the symbol for networking? You will see it looks like that blue symbol that is on Mr. Tappan's screen. The symbol for networking in ancient African Adinkra, for example, is that blue symbol, which indicates different portal corners or dimensions or areas coming together, working together.
So I'm a G and an H.
Go on. Okay. And also, if you look at your
Because I'm an
PlayStation pad,
Aquarius and I'm a waterman, Aquarius, and
Yeah.
I'm an air sign. So I'm the G and the H.
Okay, I'm the same as you. And if you look at your PlayStation pad,
Yeah.
if you look on the place, you got the triangle. So if you can see what's programmed and what's programmable, the triangle can be programmed on the PlayStation pad. So you maybe punch on one game, kick on another game, jump on another game. Therefore, what does triangle do? It's Odeon, isn't it?
It's upside down.
It's Odeon. It is the ability. It's the three-part ability to assign thought, feeling, and action. And we're going to American Adventure World next week. We're going to the shopping mall next week. That's time, space, and matter allocation. That's the three parts of a triangle, the equilateral triangle. The dimensions complement each other. There's a relationship like fire, earth, air, water. What happens when you mix fire, air, earth, water? You get clay, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, you can build everything.
You can build everything. So you don't get clay, but you can manipulate clay. That's the correct term. Because clay is a physical thing. Fire is not physical. It needs a fuel. The fuel is the thing that the clay comes from. Earth is the clay. Air, you know what that is? It's not the fire. So to make a fire, you need air, fuel, which comes from the earth, and water puts out fire. So they complement each other in a relationship of cycles, don't they? Them four things. When you put them four things on the PlayStation pad, you have autonomous movement in your character, don't you? Because it's a simulation, it's a program. So wherever there's fire, there's burning. Wherever there's water, there's cooling. So we live in a narrow band on a sunbeam in between a cold spot.
Hey, we almost have to use maybe the smell. You have to smell the fire.
Wow, that's super intelligent, brother. Smell. Okay, that's in the air, but you can smell water, air, earth, and fire, can't you?
Wow. See? Wow.
Good intelligence. That was amazing insight there, bro.
I'm serious. It just came into my mind. You know?
And what does a nose look like? A triangle, doesn't it?
Triangle.
So you can smell four elements with that triangle.
Yeah, and put it upside down, put it in reverse, put it
upside down. They got a mouth.
You know,
or in fact, the square represents the mouth. Circle represents the eyes. Or you have to. You're right. They are allocated something, but a small triangle, probably the nose. Another triangle could represent the union between the eyes and the mouth, because they are communication devices. Not just for feeding, they've got multifunction. The eyes has multifunction. You look and you see and you perceive in the mind. These are multifunctions. The mouth speaks, eats, and tastes. These are multifunctions. Three parts.
Because you can speak and give an answer with your eyes. Well, okay, yeah.
We listen, we hear, and what's the other one? Because there's another one. we listen, we hear, and it's like a cave. So what does a cave do? The ear that leads to the eardrum is like a cave. You know, if you put your finger by your ear now, it's like a cave. Now, if you walked into a cave,
And
you
it
walk
reminds
into
me
it.
of Captain Cave.
You walk. You're walking into an ear. Now, where does the cave usually lead to?
Is it
Inner
a
Earth.
question or you're
Inner
gonna say?
Earth. Now, I'm going to give you the answer. It leads to inner Earth. Now, the mind, the brain, the head is shaped like Africa, the continents.
Yeah.
The skull is. So, where these other
Something above
portals,
your head, eh? Like a home.
where these other portals are, these caves are in the head. You got the nose. You got two portals there in a triangle. You've got ears. You got two portals there, and the head is somewhat shaped. What shape is it? If you really look at the shape of the head, what shape would you say? It's not a circle. It's you got a straight line where your chin is, but your chin might be shaped differently. So some people are actually shaped differently. We look too much at the shape of flat Earth, or round Earth, or shaped Earth, and we don't look at the shape of each other's chin, because that gives you a clue what geometric shape you're more aligned with.
Okay, then we have to look up, and then it's a triangle
Yep,
through the universe.
something like that. So is it like someone who's got a triangle is more exact? Someone who's got a flat chin is more
Oh, I was
level
talking about
frequency.
nose, eh? With your nose up.
Yeah, that's what they say, brother. Oh, you're looking down on me. When
Hey,
they say you're looking
I'm
down on
loving
me,
the information, my friend. Mwah, thank you for it.
it's all right. No, but you're right. It's good what you said there. When people look down on you, their nose is like we picture them with their nose tilted up, like it's like the smug gods, you know, the smug king, the hierarchy, looking down. That seems to be a permanent psyche, if obtainable. Equally, humility and looking up to somebody in respect is also something that is somewhat permanent, if obtainable. But when we live in between them, moments of good, moments of bad, we're never fixed. This is what is the many, the unfixed person, the common unfixed person who dependeth upon the fixations of the nation-state society. What state they're in depends on the nation-state society they live in. And you say it's not true, but listen, if you changed 5 other things about yourself, the diet, you know, the 5 senses, change the environment, there's nothing saying that we perish the same, live the same.
Hey,
know.
in Dutch we say gewoontedieren.
Gewoontedieren.
We are I don't know animals, and we've got used to it, you know, and we are effed up because we don't know any better in much ways as this, you know.
Yeah, that's why when people make up their mind about me, or if I make up my mind about somebody, there's an opportunity to change.
Ouais, puis l'auto, elle s'est toute arrangée.
But I'm
Yeah.
glad and I'm happy and I love you all and mwah, I'm glad that we all are waking up together.
It sounds
So
good,
the
brother,
only
but
way is up with our nose, you know.
don't let everyone package the age of Aquarius like it's a wonderful thing. It's the age of chaos when everyone finds out what's going on.
Oh, okay, yes. You know, yeah. So
We have to yeah, the ones amongst us that survived the zombie movie are the ones that perceive the chaos ahead and then work against it. The ones that wait to the last minute. And when I say last minute, I mean it because we're in the 89th minute of the 90-minute game. The doomsday clock's been moved to the 89th minute.
Thank you for saying that because we have 85 seconds in a minute.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh yeah. Hey, have
At
you
8
ever
and
thought
5
about
it's
that?
13.
Everybody
Mr. Tap
says,
will tell you.
"Oh, you're too late. You're too late." I said, "No, I'm
I'm on time, man. Use that numerology, Mr. Tap.
Okay, I
have
missed
85 seconds in a
something.
minute.
I missed something, and I want to know what it was.
You said something about
Oh,
13.
it's over there. It's over
Listen,
there on your
listen.
left.
I know 58 very well. All the numbers, they all bother me.
Okay, no, what we said. You said what number adds to 85?
Oh yeah, but I normally I said I have 76 seconds, but you
Oh, that
said
was it.
85, and I said, wow, I have more seconds per minute. Yeah, come on.
Well, the 60,
You know?
well, it's 60 seconds in a minute, isn't it?
No, no, I have 76 minutes. No,
The
seconds
thing
per
the
minute.
thing about the thing about
And you
Adam
said
and Eve,
85.
the thing about Adam and Eve, okay, is that
Okay.
what happens with Adam and Eve? First of all, we all know that one word starts with an A, the other the E. So right away we know there's a difference. We know we have been taught that the E in Chaldean, the E in Gematria, the E in the alphabet is always in the E5 position. We know it's the 22nd reverse. That's the only time it begins to change, is that when we reverse it through the alternative numerological houses, meaning Chaldean, there's only 8, in
You
which
know what?
F and
But number E, the E or the 3, if you turn it upside down, it's a W, as you know, right? So does that mean it's just passing through another household instead? You know, you got left, right, and you got lower left, lower right on an axis. Doesn't it just? He's written it down, so that helps. Wicked. It shows us the result now. Respect.
what happens in this instant where I have found where 3 turns into E, when we take 100% of something and turn it into half, right?
Oh,
We are able to turn what is from
I figured it out.
100% into
I figured it
50%.
out. If you write down 3, M, W, and E, put them on an axis. So if you draw a square and draw a line through that square, and then put 3, W, M, and E, they represent the shifting of a zodiac. Yes. Let me see. E, W, 3, and M. So they're the same thing in different positions, different axes. Do you understand?
You know, with the precision that you speak about, all this precision, right, and the morality and everything, there is numerology. What I do, okay, I don't even want to count really what I do. I don't even think it really qualifies, really, as
Go on.
numerology.
Go
I'd
on,
like
big
to
up that.
throw that out the door.
I like that. Own it,
Okay.
brother. Own it. Own it.
I want to throw it out the door because I think I got overexcited and say, "Oh, me too, I'm a numerologist."
Yeah.
Okay, out the door. It's out the door.
Yeah.
I'm not a numerologist. I observe.
Yeah.
Okay, I observe. Okay, person, place, or thing. Okay, numbers. What are they? Person, place, or thing. Are they objects? What's a number? Is it a character? So I observe it. I look at it and I question it. What is a 1? How can I make more of them? Well, it took me and the girl. We got together, or forget about me and the girl. The egg and the sperm. They got together. It says, I'm going to turn you inside out. And it went inside. The inside became the outside. The outside became the inside. The rim of what was on the inside is now the outside. What is the rim of the center is now the exterior. So what is in the 5th position, okay, becomes you,
Belly
becomes
button,
the
belly
controller,
button,
goes on
belly
the
button.
outside, just like Pluto became the 9th planet at the rim.
Mr. T, I need your help. Those 4 letters, well, they're not all letters. Those 4 symbols you write down, yeah, in that square. I'd like you to do something else now.
Which 4 symbols, which square, where are we?
Okay, you didn't do it, did you? So draw a square, please, brother.
Okay, before I go on, if anybody knows, I just want to
Draw the square.
Draw it. In
Draw
my
it,
head or
please.
in the front?
Draw it, please. Please draw the
Okay.
square, brother.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
please,
get
thank
rid of this. Everybody was in the cave. I was, what is it, the man cave? I don't
Yeah.
remember what cave it was. Right here.
No,
is
I
the
was
cave.
saying the ear is like a cave, and if you was to walk into a cave,
Okay, draw a square.
well, yes, please draw a square and put a line through it, and another line through it. So you cut it into 4, yeah. This man's excellent. Oh, you could do it that way. Excellent, you could do it that way.
I have no choice. How do I do it the other way?
Well, you put it straight through the middle horizontal line.
Well, I have no point of departure.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, good point. Excellent. You're a smarter man there. All right, so put in any order you want. Put E, M, W, and 3.
EW3.
E in one of them. Put M in one of them. W in one of them, and 3 in one of them. That represents one house, one family. Okay.
Okay, so hold on. What am I doing again? I'm going.
So you're going
I'm
to type the letter W in one of them, the letter 3, the number 3 in one of them, the letter M in one of them, and so what was it? W3, yeah, that's the ME. So they represent a family in a house, right? The next shape I want you to draw, because you take them out of it now, right? We've also got, we'll keep it there. I mean, we've also got. I think there's one that's coming to my mind right now for some reason. It's emerging in my mind's eye. Is draw a triangle. We're going to figure out which one.
Triangle.
Yes, please. We're going to figure out which one goes into the triangle without actually knowing just yet. We're going to see the relationship that's coming from the mind's eye. This is live right now, right? So just draw a triangle as simple as you've done there, and we're going to figure out which letter and numbers go in there. It's quite easy, I think, when we work backwards. And something obvious may emerge when we complete this task. Excellent. So you got a triangle, drew it separately away from the rest of that. Excellent.
Yeah, but I want to make. I just want to make a better triangle. I'm just going to base my
Oh, I
triangle.
see your point. I see your point.
I
Excellent.
just want to do a. You know, we're going to have to make this geometric, right? So now, when you look at this triangle, I got a question. I have no choice. Who am I to choose to stop in the middle? So I go all the way to the end.
The question is, where's the starting point? Which is you've got one number out of those letters, yeah?
EW.
So you got the number 3 you could take is the starting point. Now number 3 makes MEW, right?
Hey, that's why my name.
So the number 3 is really number 1.
Marcus.
Hold on. The number 3 in that process is really number 1 or number 4. Okay, so Marcus, your number M, your M is up there. We'll get to that in a minute if it's relevant somewhere. We'll find out. But number 3 represents, that's what it is there. So you got the letter. So you got the number 3 in that house, or that room of the house, you should say. In that room of the house, you have the number 3. Now the other relationships or relatives in that house, manifestations, are the MEW. It's called the mu. You know, mu is actually a formula they use in business economics to calculate, I think it's gross domestic product and national something, yeah? Something, or debt or something like that.
The colors, the colors.
Something that what mu represents a formula in business economics. So put that one there. Now we can dissect that later. We might find a better relationship if we figure out what the triangle is. But what I extract from that square, that house, it's a family. The head of that house is the 3. The rest of them are family members. The relationship there is the square. Now, I know that trigonometry is the triangle, and it talks about relationships between angles. Women. Now, if we drew a circle, there might be different family members in that house that are not in the house of the square there or the triangle. Does that make sense? I'm saying that those belong in that.
Well, all you would just be doing, I mean, it depends.
Like, hold on. If you put a number 1 in there, right? And if you replace the E with an A, that model doesn't work. They can only work like that. Now, I don't think there's no other letters that you can put like that with numbers like that in that shape.
See, it's magical.
Now you can prove it, test it, use science and test it, use maths and test it. I don't think you can put a B.
No, yeah, you're right.
What other letters in the alphabet are like a B? Like the
never thought about that.
So B, number 1, is by itself. What shape could fit that? One house by itself. That could be the triangle.
It could be
not triangle.
1.
That could be the
B.
Yeah, the B, letter B. Letter B. There's no number.
No, not could be. Sorry, but I'm thinking with you, eh?
Well, actually, wait. There is a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
well, you're
9.
Really right.
The number 9 and the letter. Hold on, follow me. The number 9.
3. Wow.
The number 9. Listen, brother. I don't want to lose it, man. It's coming from the ether. This is the number B. You can put that down. Sorry, the letter B.
The letter B.
9, yeah, letter B. Number 9, because he's going in the same house somewhere. We're figuring it out now. Letter B, number 9. Is there any other letter that looks
No.
like that number? Is there any other number? Sorry, letter that looks like the number B? We got
Yeah,
9.
a 3 with a 1.
No, 3's
Upside
been
down.
used. One.
Yeah.
No, you're adding numbers there. That's not what I said.
It's not a
You're
letter.
adding numbers. You're doing it wrong. So just stick with it. No, you're adding it, bro. You're doing something else. You're doing something else. Like, just put B and 9. They are by themselves. There's nothing else that looks like capital B or lower B. Now they're not there. Well, see, you put the 18 now. If you're adding something else, you're adding numerical values based on other relationships, bro. We're looking at relationships between shapes and numbers.
Yes, because B represents 2, and it's if you put B9, you have 2 nines is 18.
No, because they can be shared. Look, the number 1, where could that fit? I'm not going to disagree with you.
Number one, listen, it depends. It depends which.
Hold on. The letter I looks like the number 1.
Yes.
So you put them
Splits this
together.
whole thing in half.
It could
No,
be
don't put it on the same square. No, hold on.
The one.
Why are you putting it on the same square? That square is complete. That's a family and a household, not to be disturbed. Another household now, the triangle is another platonic shape, brother. Different family household, different family setup, different members. So the members, I'm looking for the shape that goes with B and 9, you see. Working backwards a bit now. I don't think it's a triangle.
See this triangle? This one's yours. This one's mine.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's do a test. I don't think the B and the 9 go in a triangle. You think they are? Let's see if we do a science. Let's see if we can throw something up. Any other insights? I'm thinking that if you can find another letter, I don't think there is another letter that looks like the B, and you've put a capital B, which is fair enough, but I was thinking the lowercase b, you know? Does that matter though? Lowercase and uppercase, upper valve.
You know
and
what?
lower valve?
I'm not really looking at that part. I haven't really looked at that part ever. There's a lot of stories going on. I haven't.
Well, hold on. Listen, follow me then. Listen, just follow me for a minute. Follow me for a minute. Lowercase b,
possible.
you know, funny. Lowercase b and uppercase b.
Hold on, I have to finish the sequence here.
All right, fair enough. You do that. But uppercase b and lowercase b, you might hear something in a minute, is like the uppercase valve and the upper valve and lower valve. You know what I mean there, Mr. T, yeah? So when we say lower valve B, we draw it as a lowercase b. So looking back to the first shape you drew, there is no, even if you put a lowercase m or a lowercase e or a lowercase w, or a small 3, they are the same, right? You might put a straight line to represent the W from the M, or a curve, but they are brother and sister, the W and the M. Where the E and the 3, maybe mom and dad. So male and female, related, but not. This is the family. That's a family. So I think that's complete. The first one we've done. I'm not sure about the triangle of mine, but I do assign B and 9 together. Let's go do 2 other numbers. I'll pick out 2. Is there anything that's like a 2? I'll let you start with that one, Wizard.
Z.
I'll let you have that one, Wizard, because we've all got a number each. Now we've all got a shape.
2 can be a Z, something.
Ooh, excellent. So 2 and Z. S goes with that, right? 2, Z, S. What do you reckon? So that's a triangle. 2, Z, and S. Perhaps 2, Z, and S. Maybe the triangle, because nothing's like no other letters are like the 2, other than Z and S. So that's the triangle. Z and S and 2. Can you put it on my triangle, please, Mr. Pen?
Yes, so hold on a second. What do you want to do to yourself?
On my triangle, you joker. On my triangle, put Z, S, and 2, please.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm just resizing something over here. Just give me a second. So Bob Barker's back in town, and we're separating, rearranging stuff over here. We've got Citizen in the challenge, and we've got the Wizard with the sword, making sure that everything is under wraps. So what are we doing?
So put the letter Z.
Z?
And the letters, S and 2 on that triangle or wherever. There's only I believe that they suit that house. That's the shape of their house.
You want the S also?
Yeah, Z, S, and 2. You've got 3 sides, so you can put them separate sides. No,
You know this is a fox.
I get exactly. So stay with me, please. let's not lose too much sight. Put them in separate corners like you did the other one, because they go in the corners. You can't put.
Okay, let me make it smaller then.
There is no line you can put through that.
ZS2. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
ZS2. Hold on.
It sounds like a BMW wagon, you know.
ZS2.
Yeah, and there is no separation you can put between them. There's no line you can put between that triangle, is there? Because it's an equilateral triangle. You can't split it to make it equal like you've done with the square. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they belong in that. Z, S, and 2 are as permanent as a triangle's 90-degree angle is on an equilateral triangle. That's a house. They are family. So we've got the triangle complete. We've got the square complete. Unless something else disproves that, and we find another 3 letters and number arrangement which fit to triangle, which I don't think we will. Let's go into the I and the 1 now.
And the H.
Let's go into the I and 1 first. I and 1 because they're easy.
The other one is the L. The big I. They're starting to look like this. Look what my eye looks like here from Windows. They
True.
chopped off the legs.
But they might fit in the circle though. We'll see.
Look at the K. The K and the I and the H, they all have flat, straight lines.
You're right. You're absolutely right there. So they could fit on something else. But I'm starting with the easier ones first.
And look at the A. Do you see the angle of the A? It's the same thing as the angle of a K, but the other way, and the same thing as the M and
Excellent.
N.
So that could be.
Hey, the angle starts with the A. Yeah.
M and the N over here. Look, the N is the same angle as the A. Look at that. They both hold an
Excellent.
arm.
So they met. So that's a good point. So anything with a slanted edge, please, brother. Can you put
Here's
those?
a slanted edge. I'm slanting 1 over to 5.
No, hold on. You're going too fast. Slow down. You're going too fast. Okay, on your screen on the board where it says A to L, could you take any letter that has a slant in it and put them in an arrangement together, just side by side?
Well, you're going too fast with your English, but okay.
So I'm going to just be doing one thing. I'm going to be doing something for a second. I want to cut our game out of my original paper.
So you got A and the K, because that's good insight there. A and K, anything with an angle, put that in its own house together and see what shape comes of it. Okay.
There it is. That's the shape.
So put the number in it as well. Is there a number with an angle? Is
Oh,
there
look, I just made the whole shape. I cut it all out and put a shape in it. Isn't that what you said?
Are there any numbers with an angle, bro?
Okay, hold on. I'm setting up a new page.
That's what I'm saying, because you're losing track of it. Like you're adding not too many numbers. I'm sure.
No. I'm good.
Fair enough. So you've got we've got the square locked. I think we've got the triangle. There might be something else that fits the triangle. So let's see how. And if you've got something else that fits the triangle, doesn't that become an unequilateral triangle or a hexagon?
I'm thinking about a 6 or a 9, you know, if you turn it upside down. But it's your language, not mine. Because
here we go. Let's do this language, and let's just follow me for a minute, because you can go back to your thing afterwards if you want. I'll leave you alone. But so we got that locked and that locked. Now we're going to find the next shape by looking at the numbers first. So let's take Mr. Tappan's insight. Every number and letter with an angle, that means a slant. Now we've already got M in there and W in there, right? So we're not going to use them. We're going to see what's left, because we probably could change some. We probably could not. I don't think they need to change, because there's going to be a relationship between the numbers and the letters in the shape, which I'm going to try and show you. So we've got the letter I. So you can do two things. Everything with an angle in it, put to one side. Everything with a straight line in it, from a vertical straight line, like Mr. Tappan said, put that to one side. Because then we're going to see what other relationships we can find. You know, anything that's got a curve in it, put it to one side. Then what you want to do is try and match what numbers do look like, just on sight, what remaining letters. And then there'll be a shape they fit into, like, you know, just like the first square we've done. The number 3 is not in a triangle, right? However, it takes 4 triangles to make the number 3. Okay, 4 triangles.
on the right side.
To make the number 3. Is that not correct? So it takes ZX2 to make 4 times, right? To make whatever the 3 is complete.
Okay, this is what I did. This is the alphabet. Does
show me what
anybody
you
know
got.
why? Whoop, forgot to take out the O.
Show me what you got.
This is the basic alphabet. Okay. Is it ancient? The question is it ancient? Do any of these letters, does anybody know anything about these letters? Can anybody explain anything? What's going on with this algorithm?
Let me see.
I'm just going for a glass of water. Tell me something about this algorithm. I mean, you should all, I know Citizen had it right away for sure.
I'm not
Yeah,
too sure.
hey, but hey, then Citizen, if you're gonna get a glass of water, then Citizen, sorry, is gonna say it to us because I know some things, but maybe he knows more. And I
Well,
would
I've always
love
been
to
I've always
hear
been
it.
peculiarized by the letter Q. And
I know
look at
Whitler got it right away, even in front of
Hey, you were
Citizen.
taking some water. What? I don't know.
I want
Hey,
to
the
say to,
Q is from Cuverti.
I don't know. All I know is when I see moon tuna, right? I sort of think
Sounds
of this
delicious.
big.
all right, listen. When you put look, some of those are closed shapes. Some of them are open shapes. You could separate all closed shapes from open shapes, like the letter D, the letter Q, the letter O, the letter P. Those are 4 there, and the letter B, that's 5 there. So they've got dimensions in the terms of, like the letter R, for example, it's got the circle, it's got the curved, the angle, and the straight. It's one of the only letters that have that. They do have that. It's one of the only letters that have a triangle, a curve, and a straight. Sorry, triangle, curve, and straight. The straight, the curve, and the angle. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So you got B and R, which are quite similar. Obviously, that's an easy one. You got J and what's always been close to that? J and L, because they're like a mirror. One's a curve, one's a straight.
Oh, and the X is the TS.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh, there's the XYZ, isn't it? Is that XYZ?
Yeah, like a ksh. The X,
Oh, like the triangle
they
we
made
made.
it from the K and the S. Then they made it a ksh.
But see what you figured out there. XYZ. Say if you replace the Z with a 2, that's XY2. Like, does that relate to? If you look back to the original triangle that we did, some of those, if not all of them, feature some way. This is mad the way these relationships obviously relate
like
because
the
it's
features, yeah, like the F and the E.
yeah,
Of E,
it's
yeah.
almost like some
Because they
houses can
put
visit
a
other houses. You know how
straight
I
line
go,
on
say
it.
if I come to visit your family with my 2 family members, I might come and sit in that house and we become a different dimension because there's 5 of us now plus 2. That's 6 people in the same house. So the equivalent, like I said earlier, the 4 triangles make that 1 square. So certain letters and numbers make other numbers and letters.
Yeah, then I'm thinking about the K and the X.
K and X. Well, okay, what do you think about that one?
Because if you
You're right. There's
turn it
something
a
in it.
little,
You're right. I can see it as well now. You said it. There's so similar. The right side of the dimension is basically the same. The right hand side of the dimension is basically the same. The straight line is like a block between the other side being complete. So X is complete. K is half of X in this department.
and then you have the V and the W, eh?
However, though, is X, yeah, you're right, but is X represent 0 or infinity? So if it represents infinity, there can't be no half of infinity.
1
That
and
is, hold on a
0,
minute.
eh?
That represents
And it's
matter.
not really a number.
That
It all
represents
ends with
matter.
9.
Perhaps
Yeah.
that represents matter and antimatter.
Wow, I learned so much here, man. Thank you.
Well, we're sharing it, but it's important to it's I don't know. I'm trying not to step over you as well because in me realizing something, I'm being quite forceful to get it out of my head. Maybe I should write it down. Like me, I look like Mr. Tappan.
No,
Does he
you
write
just
it
talk
down?
about it. You don't have to
I
write
just
it
talk
down.
about it. I do, but we complement each other if we write it down from the mind. Because I'm not an expert in any of this kind of stuff. But if a relationship's coming through the squares and the numbers, and it can be proved with maths and science, then it becomes actually real.
So the J and the S, that's a 6.
The J and what? Sorry, J and the.
J and the 5, if it is in the square.
Let me see, J and 5.
Makes it 6.
Why would J and 5 go together? I just want to hear an explanation. Why would you say J and 5 goes together?
Yeah, because it's so.
Now you might have something in there, like I'm just reaching into the depth, into the ether of the mind right now, and around the mind to get this. So that's
Okay,
what I take
maybe if you put it upside down, then you have a so.
J and okay, you know you've
Then you have
identified.
8.
You know what you've identified. J almost stands alone. It's similar to not all of them, but there's a shape there that shares the dimension of all of them. The odd ones are O and Q because they don't have no angle. Well, O because it has no angles.
Yeah, you have a point there. So it's
Oh,
an
so
eye
what-
with a with a.
Probably. I see what you mean. What you say is oh yeah. In fact, O is actually I, isn't it? O
Yeah,
is
but
actually
with
I.
J,
J,
and
hold on.
use the
J
O.
is the beginning. So I is what it is. J is the beginning of change. O is the completion of it. So I, O, and J may go together because they show a movement. Like you said, if you can connect to I to make a circle, can't we?
It's impossible here.
No, we can. We can't do it with a J.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
No,
a straight line can be
I,
connected.
the E.
Be careful. Be careful.
A straight
Uh-oh.
line can be. No, hold on a minute, man. A straight line can be connected to make a circle.
A square.
No, a straight line can be connected to make a circle.
This is the I.
If you get a piece of string, can you not make a circle?
Okay. Yeah, of course.
With
Like a
sellotape,
lasso.
yeah, with anything. Even right now, a straight line's making a circle. It's pouring. It's making a straight line. It's becoming a circle.
Oh, if you turn it,
If you move
around
it-
and round and round, yeah.
If you
makes
change
a
its
circle.
household, brother, if you let the water visit from the household of the jug to the household of the other vessel, then that can change shape and state and all that. It needs to go through that vector, that gap, that space.
Are you talking to my bird?
Yeah,
Yes,
it looks
JR.
like a
My bird is spitting in the thingy. My bird is spitting. Oh my God, my poor bird. Oh, my poor bird. He's spitting up
Your
on
bird's
me.
sick.
Oh, my bird's sick. Yes. Look, he's got a nice hairdo. You see his black hairdo?
I have a parrot. His name is Peter.
Oh yeah.
Peter.
Peter
Oh,
the
yeah.
parrot.
I'm Birdie. I'm Birdie. I come here. I'm the painter bird. Don't you
Let's
see
not
my
do that.
black cap? I'm the birdie cap.
Let's not do that. I don't understand why you're doing it. It's a joke, man. It's a
I
joke.
love you guys here. I really love. I
We're
really
drinking.
love
Hey,
you.
we're the bird gang. We got communication. Hey,
We're losing him, Wizard.
I'm
Wizard, we're
Birdie.
losing him.
I'm- Woo!
We're losing. Woo,
You know,
he
can
says.
you imagine this bird with a big paintbrush? No, bring back the paintbrush.
Bring back the nature boy? He's like, woo, Ric Flair, baby. It's me and my birds. Jet flying.
Did you want me to
Wheeling,
explain this to you?
Hey, the answer is flying in the wind now.
Oh no, give me a minute. I want to see if I can plug this to my screen. I picked it up today.
But thanks for taking part in that little random exercise of the ether. I didn't plan it. I learned something from it, and now I'm intrigued to continue. So maybe I've got the bug. That's how it works. Numbers want to be related to fit into your mind. Then we assign them to feelings and things. What are numbers?
Characters, they're just characters. Numbers are just characters expressing a situation that are not spoken in words.
Like the Zohar in the Ten Emanations.
Zohar, Oz. So the Wizard of Oz, I don't know all about it. The Yellow Brick Road, the gold, wherever they use it. Oz is number 77 off the numeric evaluation in the House of Chaldean. Okay, how old is this? How old is Chaldean numbers? Can someone tell me how old this is?
For at least, let's say, 3,000 years old.
Now, can somebody seriously tell me about this, that we have an alphabet on here that's 500 years old that was put onto an item that is 3,000 years old to
Don't
where,
quote me on that.
what's that?
Don't quote me on that, since we're doing it with numerology.
The same thing with this cube. This cube is the same thing. This is about 3,000 years old before they created the square
I
six
see your
signs.
point. That's the Odeon, bro. That is the picture cinema. Remember when I was talking about the picture cinema? Someone's allocated time, space, and resource with numbers Like we can change the value of it. We can have a entirely new system, perhaps.
Yeah,
But
we can.
while we still use these systems, we are stuck in whatever these systems produce. Maybe there is no root or no end result. It's never ending because, it actually is not of nature.
Exactly. Wow, I just wanted to hear that. Yeah.
Words, they're of us, but
It's
letters,
only
Listen,
letters and
it's the thing is, listen, everybody has their own personal objective, right? Everybody, and we all know everybody has their own personal objective, and nobody can say no. Okay, the personal objective you don't really have to have, it just happens by itself, is the breath. And then, oh my God, the desire to, oh my God, I'm hungry, or oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom, or oh my God, I feel so dirty, I want to clean. I mean, but it can't be, oh my God, I have to buy this,
oh
you
my
know?
God, I can't believe it. I've never been this far away from home.
Bing dang. Hey, time to rock the boat. The boat is ready to rock and roll.
Hey, and it's only words, and words all I have to take your heart away. One,
Hey,
two, three,
hey,
four.
go on, bro.
Lekker man.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a plug. Give me a minute to catch up to everybody here. But
You are
if
amazing.
you want,
Always
you can
amazing.
still, if you're reading that paper, or if you can read this paper over here, I don't know if you can see that one.
Like Paperboy. I play that game on the, I don't know, what is it, the Commodore 63 or something.
Oh, not even 64. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, you're
64,
going
the
back,
Commodore 64, Paperboy.
oh, wow. Alex the Kid was a specialist, man. Specialist Alex the Kid. Scissors, paper, stone. Oh, you're going to heaven, mate. You lost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but then they throw it next to it, eh? And that was
Well,
effed
that's
up.
interesting. That's interesting. Why in Alex the Kid did you have to do rock, paper, scissors? And if you lost,
Oh.
go to heaven? Like, is there something in that where rock represents material? Paper represents what? It represents artificial. It's like a technology, isn't it? And what's the rock,
And
paper,
they
scissors?
cut it down, yeah.
Scissors represents technology as well, actually, because it does something, cuts thing in half. Actually, one thing you know about scissors, it cuts, but we like to cut things in half, especially.
Yeah, then you have double something. Yeah, but hey, I have a question. Do you believe that there landed meteorites here on Earth?
I don't know about them ones, but what do you say? Do you reckon they landed on Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon meteorites and asteroids have landed on Earth before, impacted.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe if I can be honest here, I found them.
You found some?
Yeah. I can show you pictures. Another.
Don't let
if
the
you
government know.
follow me.
Don't let the government know.
I can follow me. I can send you pictures of
Okay.
meteorites that I found, and
You want to put them up on
sometimes
the
they
big
say
screen?
it's not meteorites, but I know they are meteorites because even my magnet can hold it up.
Okay.
You know?
Oh man. I've always had a feeling in the past. If I find a moonstone, or if it hits me, I'm going to get phenomenal cosmic powers. It's going to be glowing like Jasper, and I'm just going to start flying and laser people with my eyeballs from my Death Star. Like, they don't want me to find a moonstone like you did. It'll be like what? It'll be
I
like
have
a Black
also
Panther.
have moonstones, and I'm not making a joke.
No, I'm just saying. I'm making a joke. So I'm making a joke, brother. I was saying.
No, but I do have them.
No, I
And,
believe it. I believe it. I definitely
I
believe it.
normally don't talk about it, but now
Why
I'm
not?
talking right here.
Why wouldn't you talk about it?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Other than the fact that the government might, sometimes they might try and be interested if it's something special. Like, say if it was
Yeah, the government go after themselves.
That's the spirit. There, the boy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry for saying that. but-
No, it's all right, brother.
No,
Hey,
I'm
listen,
not
in your
sorry.
country, brother, do they have like a children's well-being register which gives power to the police, to the schools, not the police, to determine whether your child's safe?
I we are all been lied to, and in my perspective, we have to start all over again, and it's not too late.
Well, we're gonna have a great reset, aren't we?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we are.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
December.
Oh
we're like
yeah.
we're lucky because we're already like my mindset, I'm like not good, meaning that I've been living the reset already for like 7 years. Or for 12 years. You can go back and find videos of me talking. You can find videos now about things that can no longer be spoken about. They're banning some of my videos that I did 12, 13, 14 years ago. And some of them they haven't banned yet. Okay? Imagine that.
I'm
14
loving
years ago,
you
I did
just the way
15, and
you
I'm
are.
doing this 20 years, eh?
You're certainly onto something, Mr. Tappan. You're good at what you do. You're getting better at what you do because I see more colors, more words, more text, more conversations. Because I think the ether is dying to burst through. If I told you guys that every green screen video I've made so far that I've acted in, that I've posted on my channel, um, I haven't really written a script. I've improvised the whole way, and sometimes I've decided to buy a certain costume or outfit to fit a character. I know what the theme and plot is of the story. It seems like artificial intelligence versus natural intelligence. The main plot is I play an ethical cyber hacker clone, perhaps time traveler. No, I am a time traveler, but I'm definitely a clone as well in that theater play I'm playing. So this is what I sense from the world, and when I put it into a story mode, when I look back at the world, it's perpetuating it more in the world. Now my worry is, am I creating my own death note?
Yep.
And do I need to paint a better outcome for that character in the story, which is me? Because I played a good guy and bad guy as a clone, don't I? There's no escape because destiny and fate follows you through time.
Yes.
It's like, what happens when you start making clones that were anchored to destiny and fate?
I, when we go to sleep, I've seen some things like that, and blah blah blah. When we go to sleep, we die unalive, and when we wake up,
Really?
it's something like, I don't know how to say it. They call it reality. Yeah.
Rebirth, renewal.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say, yeah, a rebirth. Yeah. So we are alive and we are rebirthing again when we wake up.
We're tie-dye. We're always connected to the dye through our breath. I used to have these dreams when I first began, and these not dreams, but I was living it. I was freaking living this, sitting on the throne, okay, and like a little bit scared to do certain things. They were telling me, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, myself.
I'm going to use
And if
my
you're going to
telephone as a
detach,
shield.
where you're going to detach is going to be your last breath ain't coming out of your mouth.
Interesting point, because at that point there, when all the breath is finished, all the rest of the processes in the body begin to stop and just return back to their state before the electrical charge.
You're hooked up to that umbilical cord,
Oh.
and that umbilical cord, what does it do? When you fold something inside,
Yeah.
there's 3 inches of paper that when you fold it, there's no cut in it. But when you get to the end, when you fold paper, every 3 inches you'll see a cut. That's how I believe all the cuts were made in the body.
Would I explain for the palms of the hand as well? The cuts in the palm of the hand.
Most likely through the vibration of your creation is what cuts through the palms of your hands upon separation and forming into the child that you are. Because
Yeah.
everything is like a mucus of some sort, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
And what about the
I'd say
M's?
so.
The M's in the hand palm.
Well, a lot of people have different ones. And don't forget, if you can follow the frequency of the zodiac signs, right? The zodiac signs are not running by 12s. They're running by 3s and 4s and 7s and 13s. But by this fact that I said this, they're running by association of. When this one does this, that one does that. So when you're born at a certain time, it's going to create a different palm like within your hand. Now you're going to say, well, why do I have this different? Why do I have that different? Well, first of all, I haven't done the analytics and I haven't gone out in the street to visit anybody, right? But I'm assuming if you put all the numbers together, being born at midnight, saying I'm a Capricorn palm. What is in the Capricorn palm?
Hold on, brother. It changes. Remember earlier when I said that the several parts of the body that grow at different speeds, the skin, the hair, the bones, the blood moves differently. So liquid and gas moves differently.
But this is going to be the end result. Okay, it's already going to be indoctrinated within the recipe, within the code, that the minute you hit, I believe what is, well, obviously it starts the imprint upon the electrical system hooking up with the egg, right? And then by the 91st day, according to the deck of cards, according to the cycle of 13, right? Only on the 91st day, which is the seventh cycle of 13, equaling to 91, which is on April 1st, only on that day does 91 days pass. 7 cycles of 13. So what would be 7 cycles of 13? Where do you want to use 7, right? 7 connects all the gates, right? 6, 1 and 6, since we're man, 6, God, 1, right? 1 and 6 will create 7. Then inside of that will be
one upside down. Yeah.
2 and 5 will create 7, yes. And then 3 and 4 will create 7. That's all your gates. The 91st day.
We're still explaining. Remember, you were still explaining because it's not a solid explanation for I can understand the creases in the hands, but I know they change. The palm of your hands, they change. People don't look at them enough to know they use them, but they don't look at them. They've got other uses. You see,
Exactly.
3 parts. We hold with them. So what do we do with our hands? We hold with them and move things. That's one of its functions. His other function, it's a circuit board. Yep. And so the circuit board is a long-term one, not like a crude one what we use in a household or a motherboard, some crude mechanical one where we can fit imagine the circuit board in a household behind the walls. So behind the walls of your light bulb, there's wires, right? They're stuck in place. Those wires hid behind the flesh wall, act as the conduit for the electrical charge, right? So I'd say, because the vein, the electrical charge passes through everything, but it's primed through the palms of the hand. It moves at a different rate, probably slowed down. That is probably lightning slowed down in the palms of our hands.
Yeah, it could be. And what about all the
Plasma.
towers? The V. How do you say it? The triangle towers.
Okay, yeah.
What about the bells? They all took it away because the vibration, the energy was for free. Everything was.
Yeah,
for
that's
free.
true. That's true. So I'm inclined to
and
believe the
they
lines in the
did
palm of your
take it
hand
away
are
from
circuit
us.
boards, brother.
Sorry,
Like
Mark?
if you link it to what you said about those bells and stuff like that, and them charging themselves through these bells and certain other things. But I'm looking at my hands. I'm thinking these lines are plasma or lightning slowed down, where the lightning and plasma at other rates in our body, like our hair, skin,
Yeah,
blood.
they are the vibration. Our hair.
Yeah. So the handprint is actually something deeper. It's closer to the code than we think, the core than we
Yep.
think. The palm of our hand. He's got the
I have
whole
the M and
world
the
in
W.
his hand. He's got the whole world in his
In
hand.
our hands, we got the whole wide world. Yeah. I love
And he
that
forms
song.
and shapes it, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does. And
Near and far,
together we
high and
all
low.
one. So we are the numbers, if we
So
are
the
numbers.
hands are actually the thing that shapes.
Yep. And if all our hands get together, we are.
Excellent. And the hand is made up of numerological quadrants. Yeah. And in fact, it's got triangles. It's got numbers and letters on there on your hand.
So then it's
Hey.
all a guide. I mean,
High five.
for
High
us,
five.
it's just a guide. I mean, but you know yourself when
High
somebody
five.
tunes an instrument, they don't need a number, but they do need to say, "Oh, I need more or I need less." So in this instance, do I need more what or do I need less what and how much more or how much less? Well, a little more and a little less. There you go. What numbers do I need? You did more
Well,
last time, you did less. More
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah,
What's
yeah,
but
yeah,
what's
yeah.
the
it's like a song.
what's the more final when you come to build the cake? That's why
Ah,
grandma's cake was the best.
you've hit the
Why?
nail on the
Because she
head.
put a little more. A
You've
little
hit
more
it
than what?
now, but
She
you've
put
hit
a
the
little bit more. Grandma went out.
More
She went out
than
to her friend's
words.
place, tasted her friend's cake. What did you put in it? She didn't really like it, so she put a little bit of more of something she thought was missing. When the lady says, "Oh, your cake is so much better than mine," she says, "What'd you do? I put a little more."
Okay, chill out. So pleasure, I get it. So pleasure is one thing, but mortality, you've hit something on the nail on the head there. Certain numbers pertain to mortality directly, brother. And so according to Path
Immortality
to
is
Life,
undefeated.
you know, how many stars does it take to make a sun? How many suns does it take to sustain a planet Earth? So when we think about it, numbers
are.
exist in that order. It takes whatever number to create one sun, the same way it takes 4 triangles to make 1 square.
And how much area space can you with one sun? How much area space can that sun cover? And if it was at the corner of something, can it cover more than one planet?
Ah,
I
these are
can
excellent
see
thoughts, bro.
around the corner of a circle. You know, sounds strange, but I can see around the corner of a circle.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. The corner of a circle. Well, if you could see around corners, that'll be even more interesting.
Baseball.
First of all, circles don't have corners, bro.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yes, the pitcher's mound is a circle.
The pitcher's mound's a circle. Okay, yeah, I give you that one. And you're launching a torpedo as well. So I give you extra points. A projectile.
It went into the outfield, past center field. It's at the 90-minute mark, right? The game is over. You
Yeah.
know, at the 90-minute mark, is the game over in soccer? You know, they just matched up almost baseball to soccer now by putting
Ah, good
time
point.
limits on pitches.
So if 89 minutes is the end of the game, and we're the 89th minute of the doomsday clock, there's a certain amount of events which lead to mortality decline. How many soft pillows it take to murder somebody? There's a number.
Yeah, three times 26 is 78 plus 11, the letter K. So it's
Come
a
on,
9/11
it's only
event.
one pillow, and then you pull the trigger.
I knew you.
It's a 9/11 event. The 89th
That's-
letter in the alphabet, okay,
Yeah.
is a K. It's a 9/11
Oh.
event.
And like you said, K looks like a X, which really
K-
X.
K is the
I
5
told
pointing
you
to
about
lesser.
it.
K shows
Yeah.
to lesser.
T
Okay.
and the S is a ksh.
I'd agree with that. K is the lesser because K is half of an X, isn't it?
No, it
Yeah.
shows you It shows you the arrow for less pointing towards that side.
There is that, but
Yeah.
yes, I agree because, like I said earlier,
That's
hold
right,
on a minute,
yeah.
hold on. You know the X in Hebrew, the vav and the top and the bottom of the letter, right? Different dimensions. So when we look at the B, the lowercase, it's underneath a dimension, where capital B extends to lower and above dimensions. So certain numbers fit into the higher vav. That's why they're drawn that way. Certain letters, certain numbers fit into the lower vav. It's all from the X, you see. The X is the entirety of all of it. It's got higher and lower dimensions, as well as in and out.
Okay, so I'm going to turn on the camera and let's hear what everybody has to say on the panel, and let's hear what everybody has to say.
So the question is, living inside the number, is that a different experience than living outside of a number? Because if you put me in a triangle, a square, or a circle, I may feel and think differently. If you put me in a racetrack shaped like a 5, a J, shaped like these things, you get speed change, direction change with speed. Think about how an asteroid whips past the gravity of the moon like an S. It's all about movement in the houses,
But in the house,
in the house, so the S now, I'm looking at the S like the movement of an asteroid past 2 moons. I'm looking at the 8 as a hadron collider. No, the circle the 0 is a hadron collider. It represents the movement of one atom in that motion. E, now that's interesting because again, E is like W, 3, and M, and 2. No, not 2. What's the other one? Yeah, that's the E, mu, and 3. So the movement of those things are open. None of them are closed. Just like the square, though, it's closed. So what's going on there? Where that 4 parts become a whole, but they're made up of 4 of one of a part, which is 3. You know, the triangle one triangle makes 4, makes the square. Sorry, 4 triangles make a square. And to be exact, it's an equilateral triangle you need. You can't do it with an isosceles triangle. That makes a different set of numbers and letters, a different relationship, a different household. For example, on a street, different door numbers, inside, different amount of family members. You might have a household with 2, one with a brother and sister. You know, you might have a single parent household. You might have a household with 1 individual. Can anyone live by themselves? Does any number or any letter act alone? Any shape, any number, any letter, any symbol, does it act alone? No. There are relationships between all of them. So it's actually an unfair and abomination of circumstances for anyone to be living alone just because economics, numbers.
Oh, okay. Hey, I have one.
Go on.
And it's not a number, but let's say it's the minus.
Minus. Ooh, interesting. Because it becomes a
That
minus
could
when we
be
put it
a-
on its side. And it
And
becomes a
if
minus.
you put a minus and you put them together in another different direction, you have a plus.
Excellent what you just said. Because if you look at the number 3 and E opposing each other, if you look at the middle line, it's become a minus.
Yeah.
Like, wherever there's a line, then that could either represent a middle line of the potential to become plus or minus. The line itself could become a square, a circle.
Oh, hey, then you have a song because I'm always thinking about music. Stuck in the middle with you.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
oh, that's
I can't
interesting.
help it. It's just
That's
me.
interesting. Stuck in the middle with Mew.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah, because like
Just remember the center of your core, right? Look at this, look at the center of this core here. It's not the same. I'm removing this after. I
okay,
just want to show you what the difference with I'm going to be explaining these because I'm going to be getting off in a little bit.
okay,
So I just want to explain that this and this are different. There
Yeah.
is no center core here. There's a center core here. So when we're counting, when I wrote B9, 18 is because B is in the second house
okay,
and A is in the first house. And A, right, is there's a separation with the A house. There's a separation right over here. So anything that's related to A,
yeah,
or
yeah,
5, 5, 1, 5, 5 is going to show me we have a lower house, and the lower house is 1, 2, 3, 4. The upper house is 1, 2, 3, 4. But to show the difference, and so we can understand, we use this. This is more a calculator. We use it to calculate. It's for schematics. That's why the calculations always work, because it's also schematics based off of a square. That's why these calculations always work. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4 areas at the bottom and the 4 areas at the top, all joined by the number 5. Even mathematically, okay, this number 5 mathematically chops everything in half, and it's the number that's shared between everything. 5 times 9 is 45.
Imagine this. It wouldn't be much of a calculator if it was one number in one house by itself. The only fact that makes it a calculator that does anything relative to anything else is because it contains a relationship. Just like you're drawing a calculator right now. It's just that people see it condensed like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. People that need to see things in structure and order, right? Are those like think about school? They teach you that structure and order, whereas the real ones who are free thinking radicals, they can see the order and disorder in everything. Structure itself is the order. You know, when we think about order out of chaos, orders come after chaos or before it. You don't really know. So we're just actually in a house with family members in foster care when we're in summer, winter, spring, or autumn. We're just in foster care. We don't stay in summer. We don't stay in winter. We don't stay in spring or autumn. We are in foster care in these seasons.
We
Does
are
that make
4
sense?
seasons in one day.
We don't stay in the house. We're in foster care. We move households. I'm
Every
saying like
house has its order.
Yeah,
it
but they,
do,
they gave us away by giving us up at the government. He was born that day. She was born that day. Blah 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 blah.
but
And
houses don't change. Orders change.
yeah,
You know, the house is the house. A demiurge is a demiurge. It. You know, mixing is what makes other orders. You know,
Okay, wow. Okay, yes, right. Okay, that was a
yeah.
word I
It's
used.
all been thought. They all thought about it
write it down.
in advance. Yeah, in advance, something like that. I don't know. Like 4 seasons in one day, and
Listen,
I was
if you
in
got
my
one
house
order, if
in
you've
the
got
middle
one
of the
order,
street.
if you
You
got
know,
one order, it's a command. If you got another order after that, it's commands,
yep.
plural, changed. So
All
command, the
right.
one command that gave existence, or whatever, you know, that's open and close. That's that's three parts. The middle part, and the close. So the triangle is what the platonic shape that makes squares and circles.
Yeah, you can fold it, eh? Fold,
You
fold
can
it.
make all the, if you look at geometry, not trigonometry, geometry now, then you will see how triangles can form, you know, because geometry deals with form. Or demiurge, there you go, he's got a word there. Demiurge, surge, purge, regurge. Regurge, as in regurgitate. What's gurge? To project, project, purge. Purge is like get something out. Surge, again, water, movement. Urge, the urgency to move quickly. Purge, get it out quickly. Purdu, what's that?
Like purge, yeah. Purge,
So can you,
yeah.
this is a French word.
Oh, perbu.
If you want to look at the
You're good.
capita and what is due to the public or what is due to you,
Is it
it's
masculine or
like a
feminine?
par in golf they call it a par. It's par for the course for whichever hole you're at. But in life it's per capita that they run the word. And it runs into surge. And if there's a power surge, right? A power surge has to do with memory, right? It has to do with water.
Water. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Power surge water, the
Okay.
generator overflows. We have to open the aqueducts. We're in Aquarius. Aquarius is going to represent Las Vegas. Las Vegas
okay.
under siege and tribulation.
And surge is also a state of matter or a state of speed of
Oh,
matter.
here, escape,
Hmm.
reformatting.
Aquability.
Acquirability.
Because you spoke about this the other day, or Deco did. So I wrote it down a couple of days ago, and I'm just was looking it over, right?
Hmm.
And
Escape.
then
Cape.
there's words that switch between English and French. You
If
know,
you
like
know, you know, escape. You know, Superman. He encapsulates escape and cape because when people want to escape danger, they call the caped ranger, don't they? The caped hero.
Right.
Escape and cape go together. The escape and cape was like danger and freedom from danger. Escape. So the S part is external. The cape is actually the security.
which part of the
Protection.
cape?
S is also from
The ape, the great protector, the great ape.
French, eh? S is
This is a female. When you use this in French or in English, it's noted to be as the female addition.
Okay.
Not when you add just an S to the end of the word. When it comes to a word with E, it's already female.
Oh,
But when adding
okay.
more onto a word, if I understand correctly, it's adding on. When you
Yes.
add on, what's that?
Yeah, you're right. So I'm just saying yes, yes. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
and yes.
Yes, so the S in gematria is known to be at the eye of the peak, or the eye is what connects the energy.
So what about the word yes? What about the word yes? It's got YES.
So it's going to be connected to Venus because it's 3 letters equals to 81, but it's not going to be Venus in direct because Venus in direct is I think a 5-letter word equaling to 81. So the average per letter is not going to be the same, but because it's 3 letters and every letter reversed is 27, 81 is Venus.
All right. What about
9.
this then? What about this then? What about when words become and numbers become actions? For example, you're a traffic warden and you're telling the traffic to stop. What hand sign do you do?
Number 5.
Now, when you're saying high five, you do it, but does it mean stop when you do high five?
Okay, you know what? I looked at that once before, so I'm going to look at it again. and it's actually an energy. When you
It is an
put
energy
two,
because
hold on, I
it's
want to turn my camera around
it's
because
high five because it represents
It's
the five senses in
energy.
a high point. If they're in a low point, you
High
wouldn't give someone a
five
low five.
in energy.
Yeah, it's energy, you're right? But if someone's high five, it's good moods, good spirits, good physicality. Yeah, high five. All five senses are high. Whereas if it's low five, you don't do that. You don't do low five. You shake hands lowly. That's a business meeting when you shake hands below the waist, below the chakra. It's like, okay, we're dealing with numbers here, economy. Should we do the deal? Physical, give me the money. Where's the table?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have the answer. There's a bunch of answer. First of all, freedom is supposed to be at 55. Expression is supposed to be freedom. When you hit 55, it's like throwing you need to exhaust yourself like in a car. So what do? You hit the ocean and you high five one ocean to the other ocean. So the two oceans come together but never become one because they're not the same oceans.
Hey,
Or rather,
that's a Siri. What was it? Hawaii 5-0.
oh yeah, Hawaii 5. Oh, okay. Yeah. But the five does represent that point where 1, 2, 3, and 4 has been done. Whatever creates the sun has begun. Then 5, 6, 7, 8 continues after the sun has been created.
And 9-10, and then we're gonna leave it again.
And we start again. Yes, indeed. 9, 10, we leave it again. I love that. Like, have you noticed as well? Witchcraft is done with rhymes and sigils, symbols, numbers, and rhymes. They don't just speak. There's power words and statements. Now we've just
Mwah.
established that when we say this, when we tell traffic to stop, that means when something's coming at you at high speed or a speed, that could risk your mortality, that could risk your existence. Because you don't tell slow things to stop. What do we say to slow things? Hurry up, come on, go. So you pull the energy towards you when you want it to come. You actually bring it towards you
Hey,
like you're
but
waiting.
citizen,
Yeah.
how difficult is it to explain all the knowledge that you have, or I have, or we all have here? How difficult is it to explain it to others?
It's
Sometimes
difficult if you're only
you
using
do-
words and not art
Yeah,
or engineering.
yeah.
Like if I'm saying, look, we can defeat Goliath. How? Well, swing this and aim it in his forehead. That's engineering, and that's that's become warfare now, even more. Where
Well, it's difficult to explain it to others, and I don't want to be. I don't have to be right in this lifetime.
yeah, of course not.
Speak like this now. I'm not gonna be right in this lifetime, and I don't want to be right in this lifetime.
Tough luck. You're going to be
But
right, and that's it.
my purpose. I'm the messenger. I'm the receiver. I'm the messenger.
In fact, you will be
tell
correct.
you.
You will be right, whether you like it or not, because it's the age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
Okay, can we do this? Because I'm going to be ending this in 5 minutes. I got some
Okay,
stuff
he's
to
gonna
do.
do
Yeah,
that.
sorry to do that to everybody.
No,
And
no,
can I tell you
it's your
something?
life.
We,
Come on,
we
man.
owe
We
nobody
love you.
nothing. We owe nobody any answers for anything. You are who you are. Just be happy with yourself, and tell everybody else to grab
Clap your hands.
themselves. Tell everybody
Happiness
else.
is a program which stops destruction momentarily. That's it.
Just tell everybody to grab the 6th letter in the alphabet and begin. So this is what it is. You want to know the answer to this?
Not
There's the
necessarily.
A house and the B house, right? In the A house, you get this. You can this is the B house. This is A, this is B. B comes into the A house. Okay? So the B house is over here. 2 times 9, which is the A house, equals to 18R. These are the only two that are in both houses. Okay? Because the 8 is a separation. It's the second level of I. 8 comes separately. 9 times 2 equals 18. Anyways,
Three
let's
sixes,
get into
three
this.
six, three sixes, three six, three
Three
threes and nine.
sixes. Three
Three
threes,
threes and
three
nine.
sixes. That's
No,
your
I love
creation.
the
3
sixes.
threes,
That's
3
pure
sixes.
energy.
I
So
think
here's how it goes.
there's no relationship there with that one. You kind of put that one there. I don't get that one, but carry on.
Okay, so I'll show it to you. Okay, where?
With the 3 6, not what you said there about the 9 and the 80, the 9 and the 8, or is it 9 and B being in a house of A and B? Like I don't see how A or B equals to mu 3, like because we had different.
This
Hold on.
because this one will make it work for
we
me.
assigned different values to the numbers because my message is that Anyone can assign a value to a number. You agreed with that earlier?
Yes, but in this instance, I just evaluated B2 and that's it because there's
So
four
the
different.
answer is, what equation do you, what output do you get from my equations or yours? I believe my equations will bring a different result to your equations, my friend.
Oh, when
Just
when
turn
it
it
comes
upside
like,
down.
okay, so do your equation for the word Mars and tell me what the result
No,
is.
that's your formula. My formula.
Oh no,
is
use any
something.
formula. I just want to know
Yeah,
about
no, the
Mars.
thing,
What
that's
do
what I'm
you
saying
get?
about formula. Like this, I'm saying, this is what I'm saying, Wizard and everybody else. I consider myself the master of a numbers or a chemical or a thing. It's only when you go to school and the place of institution where you re-engineer a value system around how you use numbers, symbols, or things. If you actually look in nature, the things are around all the time. You can pick up a handful of sand and find mu in there, or find the house of A or B. What you're saying,
Yes, but I'm asking one thing. If we can
in my
find some.
formula, I'm saying that if I apply like mu, I've already said that mu is a formula that is in economics, business economics. They calculate GDP and national tax or debt or something like that to come up with the mean average number that they actually have for currency, right? So that's an equation that they use. Do you see squares anywhere in business market economies? Yes, you see graphs and what do you
You have
call
to
it?
understand that numerology runs into the graphs. Numerology runs
Yeah, of
into the
course it does. I'm trying to show you the
geometric.
simplicity of it, brother. When we deal with mu in a business on a spreadsheet, you will have last year's incomings and outgoings and personal statement. Sorry, an annual statement for this year or next year's financial statement. Sorry. So mu financial statement, to work out a financial statement, you use mu or something like that. Yeah. And there's another one as well. Obviously, pi for something else, but you can. It's not mu that we use in science, for example, to calculate the speed of an atom. You don't use mu, right? You use another house. This is where you come in, Mr. Tappans, because you know the name of houses. I know the uses of houses, the use of the thing, the outcome, the application of mu, the application of whatever other code formula we're able to find
Do you
together.
think M and W look the same?
It depends if you put curves or straight lines.
But it makes a huge difference if it's curves or straight lines. I mean, if I went straight across the calculator, I mean, if I go on this angle from this way, I get differences of 2.
Not
If I
really.
go,
Not really. That's the illusion that the Greeks and the Romans do when they reverse and turn upside down Hebrew. Before Hebrew, a triangle represented something else entirely.
yeah, but this we have to look with what that
My
we're
vision
not
is a
supposed to
little
be
bit
looking at this as smart people.
common
We have to be
angle.
the children with no
To
schooling.
be fair, Mr. Tappans, I is black, so I come from a long line of original people.
Right,
So
but
it's like,
but everybody here has,
so what are the chances? It's like the chances of a newborn baby, right? Being able to overcome a Mewtwo's knowledge. Like in my bones is frequency and rhythm. I'll prove it by dancing.